Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto Audio Fanfics and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto was lost in a dark world ruled by mad Sasuke, and Kushina, Mikoto, Hinata and Ino became his only hope, Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. It has been 2 years since that day and now they meet once again in battle, given the eyes of his older brother Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke now possesses newfound power and chakra within his being. The final valley, the very same place that changed their lives, and here it would be their final battle once again. The fourth great ninja war was ripping the world apart, many lives would be lost and many free will be broken unless someone stops Madara Uchiha. Naruto Uzumaki was the only one who can stop him, but he must face an old friend to do so. Naruto could see the darkness that surrounds Sasuke, the darkness of hate and despair. It surrounds Sasuke like a prison fog. Naruto was in his Kyuubi sage mode ready to face Madara, but Sasuke was in his way. Beside Naruto were Sakura and Kakashi. They were not in the shape to be fighting. Sasuke, out of my way, I have to stop him. I have to stop Madara before the jutsu is completed. I won't let that madman rule the world. I'll save the world and I'll save you as well. Sasuke grew an evilly smirk. Still an idiot to no end, Naruto. I don't care about Madara's plans. I won't stop until I have my revenge on Konoha. They will pay for what they did. Sasuke scouted in a furious voice. Do you have anything idea what is it like to know the very person you look up and loved as your big brother slaughter and murder your clan, your mother, your father, and spare you? And after you finally defeat him, suddenly you were given the real truth. Itachi slaughter the Uchiha clan under Konoha's orders. Konoha say they are truth and justice. They fight for peace and love. What justice? What peace? What love? The village is full of lies and secrets. Naruto started to feel the darkness in Sasuke grow even more. Order one from the Uchiha clan to murder his own family. The people that love and respect him. Konoha is no better. Come on Naruto, even you were hidden from the truth all your life. Naruto knew Sasuke was right. Konoha did hide the truth from him as well. The truth about his parents, and yet they did nothing. They left him alone and to be hated. Naruto let out a furious roar. For the moment, Sasuke, it's not easy. I can't give up on you and I never will. You're the closest thing to me as a brother. You know I never had a family and I know I won't know how you feel you had a family. I never had a family or loved ones. I would give up anything to get that. Sasuke Uchiha. Tears came down Naruto's malice eyes as it pained him to see his friend fallen. Sasuke, you and Sakura, even Kakashi sensei and Iruka sensei are the only ones, the only people I see as my family. Sure, I know I screw up and you guys call me an idiot, but it was a lot better than being given those hateful eyes. Sasuke, you have a chance, you have a future to be care, to be loved. I don't have such a future, long as I have this curse. Naruto looked down at his own 2 hands, which were now claws covered in the Kyuubi's chakra. Sasuke suddenly smirked. Idiot, you're a real idiot, you know that. Naruto, to tell you the truth, I have always been jealous of you. His words shocked the young Uzumaki. You may have a beast in your soul, but your heart is filled with light unlike mine. Hope died for me long ago, Naruto. You have a future, Naruto. You have people who care for you. You have loves one too. If I die, nobody will miss me. The young Uzumaki scouted with all his might in his voice. That's a lie and you know it. I don't know about everyone else in the village, but I would miss you. Sakura-chan would miss you, because we care about you, Sasuke. You say your hope died long ago. I can give you our hope, our light. You can still be saved, Sasuke, just listen. Sakura was surprised by Naruto's actions and how he feeling right now. Naruto, she spoke his name softly. Naruto was furious at Sasuke. Sakura-chan, she loved you. I was jealous of you, Sasuke. You had her heart and I didn't. You can't just become the world's enemy just because some crazy old Uchiha told you what really happened. You're Sasuke Uchiha, you're better than this, damn it. What happened to the Sasuke I used to know? The Sasuke Uchiha I was jealous of. The Sasuke Uchiha I wanted to fight to prove I was the best, your equal. What happened to my brother? The words my brother ring out to him. Sasuke closed his eyes and thought back 2 years ago on that day. 2 years ago. The final valley. What is this power? Sasuke Uchiha spoke as he felt a powerful evil chakra coming from his teammate Naruto Uzumaki. as Naruto was in quiet awakened form using the power of the nine-tailed fox for his own uses. Sasuke, I will bring you back to Konoha even if I have to break every bone in your body. Naruto roared as Sasuke could see a large image of a fox behind Naruto. As Naruto was in his awakened form, Naruto came at Sasuke with full force. He quick shot Sasuke in the stomach. 1 2 3 4 5 were the combo hits Naruto perform on Sasuke and finish it with a 6 hit with a kick to the air. While in the air, Sasuke used his chakra to blow fireballs at Naruto. However, Naruto let out a powerful roar that blew the fireball away. Lucky for Sasuke, he grew his Sharingan become stronger. He was able to tell where Naruto was going to attack. Using his Sharingan power to see right through Naruto's attack as Sasuke Uchiha smiled while avoiding Naruto's moves after playing around with Naruto. Then while back flipping toward the top of a cliff when Naruto dashed toward the top. Sasuke launched a very powerful fire elemental jutsu. Lucky for Naruto, he was very close in range. Whoa! Naruto was speechless, amazed at what Sasuke could do. Sasuke nearly out chakra tried and panting but took his chance. He grabbed Naruto by neck of his orange jacket and told him, "It's too late Naruto, it's too late." He pushed Naruto off the cliff while Naruto was falling. Sasuke grabbed Naruto's feet and wrapped his legs around Naruto's neck as Naruto's head smashed down into the rock-solid ground. Naruto's skull cracked in two as Sasuke let go of Naruto while Naruto's lifeless body floats in the lake. It was the mid of afternoon. The sun's light peeked over at Naruto's body acting like a small gate. Naruto's body appeared inside his own soul. Kyuubi opened its eyes staring down at its host. "You're lucky, child. I am going to help you this only once of my own free will. After all, if you die then I'll die." Kyuubi chuckled. "You should be very grateful for your fourth Hokage." Kyuubi revived the fallen ninja. Naruto's body rise from the lake. Sasuke couldn't believe it to see Naruto was alive even after that. Naruto slowly rise up. His body was being risen by red chakra coming out from his back. Naruto's shot open in anger. The first thing Naruto did was given Sasuke a sucker punch to the face. Naruto slowly looked at himself as his whole body was consumed in the red chakra, which was now acting as a shield. While Sasuke was holding his face, letting few tears from the surprise sucker punch. Naruto stared at the now recovered Uchiha. Naruto's red eyes glare at Sasuke with anger. Naruto came at Sasuke on all four. He was much quicker and faster than before. Naruto dodged left and right avoiding Sasuke's fireballs. When Naruto dashed tackle at Sasuke, Sasuke back flip away from the Uzumaki. What's going on? What is this chakra? It got hold over Naruto. Sasuke thought to himself while Naruto reached out his right arm as the red chakra out the form of the arm reaching out to grab Sasuke. Sasuke high jumped in the air to avoid this. However, Naruto grabbed Sasuke using the large one tail behind him. Sasuke was tossed over the lake. Corner and low on chakra. Looks like this was the end of the battle. Sasuke said while panting, "I never thought you would get this powerful Naruto. I am afraid to admit this, but right now at this moment you're stronger than me. But I'm more special than you." Sasuke felt the curse seal active to its next level. Going level 2 of his curse seal, Sasuke's whole appearance was changed within seconds. Sasuke. Naruto's eyes were filled with disappointment and sorrow seeing his friend falling, even more so now. "Naruto. I am feeling much better." Sasuke chuckled. "There's nothing to stop me now, Naruto. Everyone on this planet seek power no matter what case. Even by becoming the best. You yourself see power. Did you not wish to become the best Hokage and the strongest of the Leaf Village?" Naruto didn't speak, only glare at his friend. "Naruto, give up. I'm not going back to Konoha. I have made up my mind, not as a ninja but as a human being. I am not giving up. I will have my revenge for what Itachi did to me, what he did my family." Sasuke, even in his curse seal 2 form, he still had the pride of the old Sasuke. Naruto knew, stubborn and all. "Naruto, I know must have made a promise to Sakura to bring me back. Only you could make a promise like that and keep it. Even now telling you to give up on me, I know you won't stop. Naruto, I'll ask you this and only once, as your teammate and as your friend." Naruto closed his eyes and grinned his teeth. He didn't want it to turn out this way. Sasuke performed a few hand signs before yelling out his attack, Chidori. Naruto held out his right hand gathering the chakra of both air and his own, creating a purple color. Both Naruto and Sasuke jump in the air at the same time as they yell out their attacks which clash. Chidori. Rasengan. Naaarrr Rutu. Sas Suki. Naruto, you are the only true friend I ever had. I'm sorry it turned out this way. Sasuke were my only real friend, but I won't give up, I never will. If only we became friend much early, things would have been different, Naruto. Farewell Sasuke. Naruto lay there on the ground in his human form. While Sasuke Uchiha alive, he was the winner of this match, but he knew Naruto held back. He knew Naruto was stronger than him, he always has been. Sasuke took one last good look at his friend before he'd turn away, but however Sasuke made a sudden stop when he heard the sound of Naruto coughing as the young Uzumaki opened his eyes. Looks like you won. Naruto chuckle weakly. You know you let me win, you idiot. Naruto chuckle again. Whatever, Sasuke. When we meet again I won't stop, I'll bring you back. Why? Why damn it, why won't you give up on me? You're my friend, and my brother. If anyone knows you better, it's me. Naruto grinned. Sasuke smiled a little before walking away. Farewell Naruto. Sasuke hold his right arm while walking away from his friend. His mind made up on his path, Sasuke walked alone as he said with Itachi's image focus in his mind. I will defeat you Itachi, but in my own ninja way. I promise myself and my friend I will defeat you with my own power, nobody else. Sasuke Uchiha, friend of Naruto Uzumaki, has chosen his path, his new path. I won't fall like you did Itachi, I won't fall into my own darkness. Shortly afterward Kakashi Hatake shown up late as always. I'm too late. Kakashi took Naruto and Sasuke's headband as the rain stopped as Kakashi left with Naruto in his arms, ending the day that changed the two lives of Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha forever. 2 years later now. The final valley. Naruto saw a small smile appeared on Sasuke's lips before turning to a frown as Madara Uchiha appear before them between the two friends right in the middle. Sorry to ruin your friendship moment. But the time has come, the final piece waits. All I need is you Naruto Uzumaki, the final piece, the Kyuubi. The final piece. What did you do to be? Unlike you, he wasn't much of a challenge to me. Ripping the 8 tails from his soul was easy. Wait. Sasuke spoke as the darkness around him suddenly disappeared. I'll handle this. Sasuke active his Sharingan. Naruto saw within the eyes of Itachi and Sasuke combined together. Staring into the eyes made Naruto feel uneasy. There was something inside feeling funny. Naruto dispel his Kyuubi Sage mode, returning to his normal form. The two friends stare at one another for a moment. Naruto came running toward Madara while yelling as the old Uchiha did nothing but smirk underneath his silver-colored mask. But suddenly the sound of Sasuke yelling caught Madara's attention. Madara at first believed Sasuke was going after Naruto, but seeing the look in his eyes, you little bastard. Madara saw right through their plans. Active the power of his Sharingan, sucking the two into his right Sharingan eye to collect the two for his goal, his Moon Eye plan. While getting sucked into his right eye, the power of Rasengan and Chidori combine at the moment. Madara felt funny, his Sharingan was acting strange. Chakra was being forced into his right eye. It was the power of Naruto's and Sasuke's attacks. Madara screamed in agony as in a burst of overflowing energy Madara's head blew up, but however the black hole was still there. Naruto and Sasuke were dragged into the black hole as Sakura and Kakashi scream out to both Naruto and Sasuke the black hole close up after the two were consumed. Sasuke was falling down, he was facing Naruto as he fell. Naruto was looking at him as he too was falling, their eyes were stare into one another. Naruto's eyes and Sasuke's eyes glow of their energy, the power of light and dark. From Naruto's eyes shot a black fire into Sasuke's eyes as the two were covered in black fire as the black fire clash into the pool of the unknown. We're brothers Sasuke, we're brothers. You can have my light, I'll help you. The final valley. A black hole suddenly opened and out came was the two black fires. The two black fires circle around one another before clashing into one another. When the two black fires clash into another one, Naruto and Sasuke shot out from the two black fires as the black fire vanished into nothingness. Both ninja was sent clashing down into the ground. Both twitch in pain after clashing down. Aw man, that sucks so bad. Naruto moan in pain. Damn, that really hurt. Sasuke moan in pain as well. Both stay there on the ground unable to get up even if they wanted to. The clash landing really took a total on them. Sasuke. What is it Naruto? Are we friends again? You believe we're still friends? Always man, you're my brother. You're an idiot. And you're a dumbass. Both Naruto and Sasuke had a smirk on their face, and from a smirk to a chuckle to a laugh to a loud laugh as the two best friends laughed together. But shortly the laughter died down, followed by a long pause of silence. I know you killed Danzo. Wasn't his death enough, Sasuke? Not all of Konoha is evil, you know that. You were born there, it's your home. Sasuke wanted to avoid talking about the hidden leaf. Naruto, I know, Sasuke, let's just forget about the past and focus on our future. Naruto slowly rose up from the ground as Sasuke did the same. Both Naruto's and Sasuke's eyes widen in shock. To their surprise, both the two ninjas turned to see the two statue of Madara and the first Hokage, only to see a pair of broken statues. Their faces were gone. There were dead bodies there, about 20 bodies, all were leaf ninjas. Each of them had horror look on their faces. Sasuke got off the ground quickly, looking around the area as Naruto did the same. Each of them was cut in slices by a blade. What type of Naruto wasn't sure. But Sasuke looked trouble. Naruto, let's go back, Konoha. Those words made Naruto smile big. Those were the words he wanted and waited to hear from Sasuke for 2 years. They were friends again, although Naruto wasn't sure did Sasuke overcome his darkness or he was fighting it for the time being. Let's go home, Sasuke. The two ninjas left the final valley, returning to the village hidden in the leaves. Unknowing the new changes and the new horror that waits them, Naruto and Sasuke friendship and trust will be put to the test in their ultimate challenge in the village hidden in the leaves. I wonder where Sakura-chan and Kakashi-sensei went. Naruto wondered. Sasuke looked at his best friend. I'm sure they're fine, Naruto. They could be waiting for us in Konoha. Naruto and Sasuke journey their way through the hidden forest. While the two were jumping from tree branch to tree branch, they noticed how the forest looked a bit different. The forest was. The trees looked burned, most of them were cut down and others were blown or ripped down by some unknown force. Naruto frowned. He knew what kind of force was behind this, but it was him. Something wasn't right here. Everything is different. Of course there was a war going on, but the forest was never this banged up before. The two made a sudden stop. When they glaze upon a huge area of the forest was covered in black flames and blue flames. Naruto have seen the black flames before, but the blue flames were new. The black and blue flames was burning non-stop, burning what was else of the huge area. Hey Sasuke, got any ideas what this hell happened here? You sure you and Madara are the only living Uchiha left? Naruto's question made Sasuke wonder if they were other Uchihas that were hidden. Sasuke closed his eyes and open blood dripped down Sasuke's eyes. Suddenly purple energy rose from the ground, covering Sasuke, protecting him. From the purple energy, the energy took on a giant form of someone's rib cage. Over time the bones form a full upper body, flesh covered the bones and clothes covered the flesh. Naruto was amazed by this as Sasuke used the power of Susanoo. Sasuke looked at Naruto and offered him his right hand. Come on, stay close, Naruto. Naruto grabbed Sasuke's hand. The two ninjas ran right through the black and blue flames that covered the area. Sasuke's Susanoo was unaffected by the black flames, but after a few minutes, Sasuke noticed the blue flames were eating piece by piece of Susanoo's armor, but lucky for the two they made it across the burning forest. Once Sasuke dispelled Susanoo, the two ninjas took a small break. Okay, that was freaky. Naruto spoke. Sasuke agreed. The black flames are indeed the work of an Uchiha. But the blue flames, I do not know who that belongs to. The two wonder what or who was behind those flames. Whoever did this wanted to make sure the hidden forest was protected. I'm pretty sure if we took the long way we could have taken days to get back to Konoha. Naruto said. Naruto, let's keep going. Right. The two once again jumped on the tree branch and jumped from branch to branch. Faster way to travel rather than on foot, as the more the two got closer and closer to Konoha, the less how the hidden forest looked damaged. Both Naruto and Sasuke stopped right in their tracks when they saw in shock. Sasuke looked completely shocked, but nowhere near shocked as Naruto was. It was Konoha, the village hidden in the leaves. Konoha was different, far different from what Sasuke hoped his original home and birthplace would look like after leaving 2 years ago. The village nearly the same, but there was newly added features. As such, there was a large, tall 100-floor thick purple-colored tower. The tower blocked the view of the Hokage's face statues. The giant wooden door that stood there was now replaced by giant steel door that was giving off an evil presence. There was a metal wire with spikes that was linked to the steel door that was spread across the walls of Konoha. Naruto and Sasuke spotted that there was guards in front of the steel door. They didn't look human at all. There were about two in front of the door. About 6 feet in height. They looked heavy in weight size. They wore black-colored armor. They wore samurai-look armor holding glowing swords. The two couldn't see their faces as their dark helmets hide their face from the two ninjas' view. Naruto whispered to Sasuke as the two hide behind the bushes, "Hey Sasuke, you think we can take them? I've never seen these guys before." Sasuke sweat drop. He was thinking of the same thing. "I've seen them somewhere though, but not sure where." Sasuke suddenly saw someone walking towards the two guards. Naruto's jaw dropped to the floor. He knew who the person was. "Naruto, who was that?" the Uchiha asked. "That's Mizuki." Naruto grinned his teeth in anger. Why was Mizuki here? The last time he saw him was 2 years ago and Tsunade sent him to prison for life. Why he was out and why was he here? Sasuke blinked twice. He remembered Mizuki during the Genin's days, but Mizuki was different how he looked 2 years ago. Mizuki looked completely different. He was tall as the guards. His hair was longer. Wearing Konoha Junin outfit, but Mizuki had a long orange-tailed swing out. His hands were tiger claws. His eyes were that of a tiger. Naruto was about to make his move, but Sasuke stopped him right there. Sasuke shook his head. Naruto cursed underneath his breath as the two sat and watched what was going on. Mizuki was speaking with the guards, telling them to open the gate. The two guards grabbed the handle of the gates and rip open the gate. Mizuki raised his right hand up, drip it forward as group of people chained by their hands and feet were walking, being escorted into the gate by another pair gate guards. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. Is that Isaribi? Sasuke looked confused of who Isaribi was since he never heard or met this person. Yes, it was Isaribi, but however she wasn't in chains. She was wearing a black collar around her neck. Mizuki patted Isaribi on her head as if she was his pet and she did a good job. Naruto, who's Isaribi? Sasuke asked. Naruto explained to the Uchiha. She's a girl I met during my mission about 2 weeks after you left. We became good friends. She even saved my life twice. What's going on here? Mizuki told Isaribi to bring everyone in the village. Isaribi grabbed their chains and pulled them as everyone followed Isaribi into the village. There was over 20 people, enough for a small village. As the people walked inside one after another, they looked very familiar to Naruto. But the 3 people got Naruto's attention the most: the old man, Inari and Tsunami. The 3 people lives that Naruto changed that day, but now they were prisoners of Konoha. Something was very wrong here. Naruto felt it. Sasuke, something not right. Something is definitely not right. Sasuke agreed there was something going on here. Everything didn't feel right. Naruto and Sasuke left their hiding spot. The two ninja came across a spot where there was no guards guarding the area, which was perfect for the two. Sasuke quickly ran over to the wall holding his hand together out as Naruto ran towards him. Naruto stepped on Sasuke's hands as he given him the boot to grab the edge of the tall wall. When Naruto grabbed the edge of the wall as Sasuke high jumped onto Naruto's shoulders, jumping over the wall as Naruto pulled him up and jumped down. Konoha back alley. They now sneaked in Konoha. So far nobody caught them. So far so good, they thought. Naruto was saddened by this. He didn't know what the hell happened to his village and how long was he and Sasuke were gone. What the hell happened to this place? Naruto buried his face in his hands. Why is Mizuki here? What are those guards and why is Isaribi-chan working with Mizuki? Pulling his hands away from his face. Naruto's face was struck with anger. Naruto, calm down. First we need to find the Hokage. I am sure she can explain to us what happened. Naruto remember, of course Tsunade would know what going on and she could help them find out why Mizuki here and what are those guards things. But I don't see the Hokage's tower. Sasuke. It's still there, idiot. The Uchiha pointed at the tall tower. We need to get inside. But suddenly there was the sound of a bell rang. The sound of the bell caught Naruto and Sasuke off guard. Both gasped of surprise, but as the bell rang the second time, Naruto heard the sound of people walking towards the tower. Naruto and Sasuke peeked around the corner of the back alley and saw a group of people walking towards the tower. They were dressed in well-mannered outfits as if they were going to a party or a ball. This made Naruto and Sasuke curious what was going on, but suddenly the two ninjas saw Isaribi and Mizuki were walking inside the tower as well. Naruto glared at the Mizuki. He wanted to beat the shit out of him again. Seeing Isaribi wearing that collar made Naruto feel uneasy. Sasuke could tell Naruto was on the edge of kicking someone's. He knew his friend very well, but like Naruto, Sasuke truly wonder what the hell was going on here. He hasn't been home in 2 years. Has this truly changed while they were away, or did the black hole truly had something to do? What's wrong with this village? Naruto only saw one way in the tower, the front door. Sasuke, how are we going to get inside without anyone noticing us? As two guards came stood their place guarding the tower. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a bit of surprise look on his face. At first I thought you were gonna head on with flying fists. But you surprise me, Naruto. You do have a brain after all, or did you finally grew one in 2 years? What, yours, Sasuke? Naruto looked. How about at least once we'll go with your type of idea, let's fight them and see what they can do. Naruto smirked at his friend as the Uzumaki chuckle. Oh, you're thinking like me now. Sasuke sighed while shaking his head. While the two guards were standing at their pose, a small rock came out of nowhere, hitting one of the guards on their heads, getting their attention to where the rock came from while having their backs turned the opposite way. Naruto came out from nowhere with double Rasengan, striking both of them, destroying them. When Naruto destroyed the two guards, they burst into energy as the energy flew into the sky, leaving behind the suit of armor and the weapon they held. Naruto kneeled down to grab a piece of the armor. Empty, just nothing but an empty shell. Both were creeped out by this. Come on, Naruto, let get inside before anyone show up. Inside the tower, there were two sets of stairs, one going down and the other going up. Which way did they go? Naruto asked. Sasuke active his Sharingan. We go up. As the two were going the stairs, Naruto suddenly heard the sound of a woman crying in pleasure down below. It caught him off guard, but he stayed on the path that was ahead of him. Both Naruto and Sasuke made their way to the upper floor in the tower. The tower was bigger on the side than the outside, much large. There was tick to it having something small outside and having large space on the inside. The two stopped the end of the stairs case. Naruto peeked his head up. There was nobody here. The room was empty. Naruto and Sasuke came out looking around the large room. Where did they go? The room had an upper balcony, a space where nobody could be spotted. That was the first thing Sasuke saw, just in case someone came in. There was two doors. There was one large golden-colored door behind Naruto and Sasuke, and two small doors beside one another in front of them, but between the two small doors there was a long, thick red-colored pole that was reached the top of the room, but at the roof of the room that was a glass frame that held something deep within it. When Naruto and Sasuke looked upward, at first the two couldn't make out what it was until a few seconds later. Naruto gasped, his eyes widened in fear. He was in complete shock as he gazed upon what was within the glass frame that was held on top of the pole. Naruto Shippuden, awed man of the world playing. It was a glass coffin. There was corpse inside it, yes, but not just any corpse. It was the corpse of Uzumaki Naruto. This truly creeped the hell out of Naruto. What the hell? Naruto couldn't stop staring at the corpse. There was no sign of any flesh upon the corpse, just bones and the clothes and the headband, and Tsunade's necklace was missing. Confused and lost, wanting answers, Naruto fell down to his knees with a lost look upon his face. Sasuke placed his right hand on Naruto's left shoulder as the Uzumaki looked back at his friend. Naruto, I don't think this is our world. No, this got to be our world, our home. What happened here? That's not me. But it looks like you. Naruto snapped a pissed glare at Sasuke, which made him shut up quickly. I'm sorry, Sasuke, I didn't mean to. Ever since we came here, I'm starting to feel funny. Sasuke didn't want to tell Naruto, but his eyes were red now. He was showing the signs of using the Kyuubi's power, but they were blue at first before he looked at the corpse in the glass frame. Suddenly the sound of the doors was opening. Let's hide. Naruto and Sasuke quickly jumped to the upper balcony just in time as the group of people, the number of people was 20 and more, guarded by their ninja bodyguards. These weren't just any normally dressed up people. These people were leaders and great leaders of many ninja nations and villages. Grass, Cloud and Rock and many others. However, Suna and Mist leaders were not there, and Konoha Hokage was missing, although the Lord of the Land of Fire was there. Sasuke felt trouble was close near, and Naruto had a gut feeling he wasn't going to like this party at all. As many Konoha ninjas came, there were no familiar faces. As Naruto looked at each of them, they were all new faces. But suddenly from the other side, at the two small doors across the room, the two doors opened as 7 women came from the two small doors, each of them wearing the same type of black collar Isaribi was wearing. Each of them was wearing a white dress that was very revealing indeed. Their asses were exposed. There were also exposed Each of them had a blank stare in their eyes as if there was nothing inside their minds, and these women were Sakura, Hinata, Ino, Temari and Tenten, Isaribi, and lately someone Naruto never thought to see again, Konan. Yes, even Konan was there, beautiful as an angel. She truly was an angel, but what was she doing here? Naruto Shippuden asked Gare playing. But so after the 7 women that Naruto knew came out, they walked, turned and faced one another before bowing their heads as 2 more people came out from the room. The last 2 people truly shock and surprise both Naruto and Sasuke. The 2 people that came out lately were Sasuke Uchiha and Kushina Uzumaki, the mother of Naruto Uzumaki and the wife of Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage. Both Naruto and Sasuke frozen in shock. They truly didn't know what the hell was going on here. All they could do was watch. But shortly Sasuke and Kushina came out. Another person came out. Naruto's blood ran cold upon the very sight of him, Madara Uchiha. Sasuke focused his sight on the other Sasuke that stood beside Kushina Uzumaki. He looked like him. Hell, he even had the same Sharingans, but there was something different, something off. Sasuke saw it on the right side of the other Sasuke's neck, the curse mark. Sasuke thought to himself, the curse mark, the very thing that nearly destroyed his very soul. If it wasn't for Itachi, Orochimaru would have consumed Sasuke's soul during that fight. Unlike the rest of the women, Kushina didn't have a blank stare. There was hope and light in her eyes. She didn't like to look at the corpse of her son which held right above her. Kushina gasped when she felt Madara patted her on her butt as he chuckled. Sasuke, I'm going to Orochimaru. He said he has a new weapon for us. I leave you to enjoy your anniversary party. The other Sasuke nodded his head. He vanishes in the blink of an eye. Bastard, Kushina said under her breath. Naruto frowned greatly. Mother. Sasuke looked down at Kushina to see the woman who was Naruto's mother, the woman who gave birth to him, to the world, and now here alive and a slave to this other Sasuke. Naruto, don't let it get to you. Naruto nodded his head as Sasuke knew anger was the key of setting off the Kyuubi. But Naruto knew it wasn't going to end well. He knew it. The other Sasuke snapped his fingers as the women, even Kushina, turned their attentions towards Sasuke's guest, as from the ground a throne chair was created by snakes as the other Sasuke sat down on his throne. Naruto Shippuden asked loneliness playing. Naruto turned away from the sight as Sakura, Hinata and Temari got down on their knees while Ino, Tenten, Konan and Isaribi bowed their heads to the leaders of the lands and villages, also to their ninjas bodyguards, offering their bodies to them, giving them pleasure, showing them as a gift from the other Sasuke. The sounds of their moans, the sound of flesh against flesh, the sound of blowjob being given were heard. Sasuke was stronger. He watched in horror to see these girls were broken down to such level. Naruto covered his ears and closed his eyes. He couldn't believe what was going on. He wanted to do something. He wanted to save them. He wanted to jump down and kick some. He thought back to the other version of themselves, the ones he knew and believes in him, especially Sakura, Hinata and Kushina. Konan were the one who believe in him the most. The very thought of them being used in such manner. I love you, Naruto. The image of Hinata on that day of when she saved him from pain. Nagato believed in you, so will I. Konan held out the flowers of peace to him as she smiled at him. I love you, Naruto. Sakura told Naruto she loved him. Though her lips were filled with lies, her eyes were filled with truth. I love you, Naruto. Kushina hugged her son, glad he never hated her or Minato, and was glad he was happy to have her as his mother. No. Naruto's mind screamed, he won't let that happen. Get off me, hands off. Kushina backhand one of the Land of Clouds ninjas who was ready to get pleases by her. Get your dirty hands off me. Naruto Shippuden asked, anger playing. I have to save them. Naruto spoke. Sasuke turned to see Naruto started to become covered in red chakra. Naruto, don't do it, you idiot. Sasuke placed his hands on the Uzumaki's shoulder. This was a real bad time to be going Kyuubi. Naruto closed his red eyes and opened them with the eyes of the Kyuubi. Black lines appeared around Naruto's lips and around his eyes. Naruto suddenly grinned. Sasuke quickly backed off. He remembered that looked in Naruto's eyes before that day when Naruto won tails. Naruto grew a second then third chakra tail. Sasuke watched in horror as more of Naruto lose his humanity. How could Naruto easily look control? He beat the Kyuubi. He had Sage mode as well. Something wasn't right. This world affected him. Naruto turned to his sight down below. Kushina wasn't going to let anyone touch her. She wasn't no one's toy, let alone. The other Sasuke rose from his throne and backhand Kushina hard when she wasn't looking. Kushina fell to the floor with blood dripping from her lips. On your knee, pleasure me. The other Sasuke said. Kushina bit her bottom lips. She had no choice. Yes, master. Naruto jumped from the balcony and smashed his fist into the ground, making a big hole in the floor, casing a small smoke screen to hide himself from everyone's view as the girls stopped what they were doing. The sound of flesh was ripping was heard, followed by the sound of a voice spoke. I'm gonna kill you. The other Sasuke snapped his fingers as out of nowhere sound ninjas came to the other Sasuke's aid. When the smoke cleaned, what stood before them was not a man but a beast covered in his own blood. His eyes were white as light. It growled at them with its long deadly four tails waving up and down, leaking with malice energy. Kushina's eyes widened in shock what she saw before her. The other Sasuke had a very unpleased look upon his face. Sakura looked at the red beast. She blinked once. She shook her head as if she woke up from a dream as the sight of this beast had awakened her. It can't be, Sakura said. Sasuke stared down below, this being his first he has ever seen Naruto in this form of the Kyuubi. As what was standing down there with everyone's full attention, none other than four-tailed Kyuubi Naruto. Gah! He growled with saliva drooling from his mouth. His white eyes were filled with anger, his sights focus on Dark Sasuke. Naruto had gone under his four-tailed transformation of the Kyuubi. Both Naruto and the Kyuubi were pissed off at Dark Sasuke for once both Naruto and Kyuubi were acting as one being, their minds was linked together. Naruto wasn't losing control at all, he and Kyuubi were working together, sharing their fury and hatred. Judging from the look on his face, Naruto was in control more. His spiky hair was shown by even that was covered in his own blood. Four-tailed Naruto, he was untouchable, nothing could hurt him. Naruto remember from being told by Yamato not even Orochimaru's poison sword couldn't impale him. Naruto looked at Kushina, looking at his beautiful mother, how healthy she looked and how her will wasn't broken, her mind was intact. I don't know who you are, but you are uninvited guest. Dark Sasuke spoke. He stares at four-tailed Naruto as the Kyuubi ninja growl once more at him. His four tails wave wildly. He held his right hand as if he was about to attack, but four-tailed Naruto formed a Rasengan within his right hand. It was bright red as the sun. Naruto held it up in the air as it shined, blinding everyone who stared at him or his Rasengan. Everyone within the room was blinded by the light ray of the four-tailed Rasengan flash ball. Naruto took his chance right there and then from his chest launched a giant mass claw that grabbed Dark Sasuke and smashed him into the roof, making a giant hole to the next floor. Four-tailed Naruto jumped high to the next floor as Dark Sasuke was stuck to the roof of the next room. Naruto ball up his right fist and uppercut Dark Sasuke to the next 3 floors until he finally punched him to the roof of the tower, which was the Hokage's office. Dark Sasuke coughed up a small amount of blood. Dark Sasuke got off the floor just as Four-tailed entered the room by jumping to that floor. But right behind Naruto were Dark Sasuke's sound ninjas. They were ready to fight him, but Naruto smiled evilly. He knew he was going to enjoy this. Meanwhile, down below in the ballroom, Kushina was shocked to see a tailed beast. There is still one left alive. Her voice told it all. She was confused, although she was grateful to the tailed beast host who saved her, but there was something about him which seemed to be familiar. Kushina turned to see Sakura had regained her free will back. Sakura, are you okay? Kushina walked over to her, making sure she was fine. Sakura held her head as she fell to her knees and gagged twice right before she threw up white-colored liquid. But suddenly someone grabbed Sakura by her hair. Hey, just because Sasuke is busy with that freak doesn't mean you're done pleasuring his guest. Kushina grinned her teeth. She uppercut the fool. She isn't your toy, bastard. The foolish man chuckled as he got off the floor. So say the Uzumaki who became the Uchiha whore. The sound of four-tailed Naruto's furious roar was heard as the sound of him bashing and tossing Dark Sasuke around was heard. Whoever that guy is gonna get a surprise. Sasuke won't go down that easily, you know that for sure, Kushina. Kushina glared at the same foolish man. Don't make me punch your head off. Unknowing to everyone where the Sasuke Uchiha that was Naruto's best friend and brother was watching above them, Naruto, couldn't you just wait it out? What did they mean that Sasuke won't go down easily, unless, Susanoo? It even pained Sasuke to see Sakura being used in such manner. He never thought of ever using her like that, even though few days ago he was about to kill her and Kakashi. Sasuke wondered had he truly became a monster. And this Dark Sasuke was the monster that was about to be born if it wasn't for Naruto's light. Sasuke decided he'll have to join Naruto in the battle above them, but he had to make sure no one saw him. But suddenly the sound of someone being blasted through the walls was heard, followed by another large clash noise. Sakura, I'll be right back. Kushina ran off to follow where the battle was taking place now. With Kushina gone, the guest of Dark Sasuke say hell with Kushina's warning and made their way to Dark Sasuke's women. Sasuke cursed under his breath. He reached in his back pocket, pulling out a snake mask. Putting it on, Sasuke jumped from the balcony, standing between the helpless servants of Dark Sasuke. Sasuke held his sword out and spoke. Lady Kushina's wish is Sasuke's wish. The lords of the land and villages decide to finish this off another time then, once Sasuke is done with his rude guest. Meanwhile, with Naruto and Dark Sasuke. Dark Sasuke was grabbed by the throat by four-tailed Naruto. He tossed Dark Sasuke up in the air and super punched him in the gut, sending him flying towards the streets of Konoha. Naruto let out furious battle cries. His world was filled with a roaring power. Naruto flew in the air with a high jump, smashing his food down to where Dark Sasuke was. Beating him with his hands, bashing him down again and again, but when Naruto threw his final punch that would end it all, a hand came from nowhere, catching Naruto's fatal punch. To Naruto's surprise, it was Dark Sasuke. Dark Sasuke was covered in a black shield of chakra that chakra took on the form of Susanoo. Naruto back up slowly, bit surprised to see Dark Sasuke had this power. Naruto growled, "It's been a very long time since someone tried to assassinate me. Whoever you are or where you came doesn't matter. Soon the world will be under my control. The Uchiha clan will return and the world shall bow down to its will." Dark Sasuke laughed. "Run." Naruto heard Kushina's voice. He turned around to see Kushina was the rooftop of a building as she scout out to him. "Whoever you are, don't fight him. Run, he'll seal away your chakra. Run." When Naruto turned back to Dark Sasuke, a powerful blade cut strike four-tailed Naruto. Naruto roared in pain as the blade of Susanoo somehow got passed through Naruto's blood acid shield. Naruto was bleeding his own acid blood from his chest. Naruto high jump away from Dark Sasuke, but Naruto had a plan. He opened his mouth wide, collecting chakra energy from both Naruto and Kyuubi. He was ready to use his strong ball attack on Dark Sasuke, but Dark Sasuke just smiled. "Don't. You won't win," Kushina warned Naruto. Naruto Shippuden asked Jinchuriki playing. Naruto gathered the two type of chakra together inside his being and unleash his almighty strong ball attack, blasting his attack. Dark Sasuke used the power of Susanoo's almighty shield and bounced it right back. Four-tailed Naruto cried out in agony of being hit by his own attack. When the smoke cleaned Naruto's right arm was gone, he used his own arm to protect himself, but lucky for him, Kyuubi and Naruto were working alone. It didn't take long for Naruto to grow his right arm. He wasn't winning this fight. There was something off about this Sasuke. Even after beating him down, killing his sound ninja's bodyguards and blasting him with his chakra attacks, there was not a single mark of cut, wound or burn on Dark Sasuke's skin. Naruto had to back down. He growled and took off. Kushina followed him, and when he returned to his normal form, end his life. "The thing I need is a clone of a Jinchuriki, becoming a pain in the future." Kushina bit her bottom lips. She was hoping he would be the one to end it all. "Yes, master." Kushina took off, going after Naruto as the four-tailed Kyuubi host ran off somewhere in Konoha as Dark Sasuke went to return to his tower. Dark Sasuke's tower. Dark Sasuke returned to see a snake mask ninja holding a sword as if he was protecting the servants of his. Dark Sasuke saw his guests were gone. "Where is everyone?" he asked the mask ninja. "They left, speaking off, finish off later." "Did you take care of the unwanted guest?" the mask ninja asked. "He is being taken care of by Kushina." Dark Sasuke smiled. The mask ninja frowned behind his mask. "You believe she can do it?" Dark Sasuke laughed. "She can do, as this isn't the first time she kill for me. Once she returns, I will enjoy using her again. You may return to your post." Dark Sasuke snapped his fingers as the women turned their attention to him. Even Sakura went back under his control again so easily. "They follow you so easily," the masked ninja said. "Of course, once you break their will. Giving them slave collars and one look into my Sharingan, they're my puppets." Dark Sasuke went through the small door as the ladies follow him into the room, which was called the chamber room. "I wonder how Naruto holding up." Elsewhere with Naruto. Naruto was still in his four-tailed Kyuubi form, but he felt he was losing control of holding this form together that could not only wounded him but took a large amount of chakra from him. Naruto was at the ninja school. He saw the tree with the swing was still there. Naruto walked over to it as he fell down on one knee. Naruto looked behind him to see Kushina holding a kunai in her right hand. Naruto didn't even bother to growl at her. Of course she was his mother. Kushina's eyes had a very sad look within them. Was she pitying him? He wasn't sure. He knew she didn't know who he was. I'm not going to hurt you. Let me help you. If you stay in that form you'll die. Trust me, I have what is like. I've been through that before. The power is great, but the longer you stay the more your soul will be lost. Naruto crashed down on the floor, and as just he was about to dispel his form, someone quickly came from nowhere tossing a black coat upon him to hide him from Kushina's sight. Sasuke came before Kushina, still wearing his snake mask, hiding his face from Kushina. Who are you and what have you done to my friend? He asked. I have done nothing. Your friend is brave to take Sasuke on, especially in that form. He is a Jinchuriki, but what beast? Kushina grew curious quickly. But Sasuke pointed his sword at her. That is none of your business. Leave here and return to your master. Suddenly Kushina's eyes were filled with fury. Master. Like that ungrateful Uchiha brat is my master. What kind of person kills his god brother and rapes his godmother with the corpse of his god brother in his presence? Kushina scouted with such unbearable fury in her voice. Sasuke backed up quickly. He was easily shocked by the news of what Kushina told him. Kushina had tears coming down her face. I'm so sorry, Naruto. I'm so sorry. Mommy has been a bad mother. I should have done something. I should stop him. Kushina felt herself slowly falling apart. Sasuke was about to touch her right shoulder, but Kushina slapped his hand away from her. Don't touch me. Kushina shouted. I'm sorry. Tell me what happened. Why should I? You know the story, everyone does. Because of me, all of this happened. I don't know the story either, does my friend. We are not with Sasuke. Sasuke really wanted to know what the hell happened to this world. Why was it so dark and why is everything changed? It all started when my son Naruto tried to save his god brother Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke was kidnapped by Orochimaru's men. Naruto tried his best to save him. But he was killed by Sasuke's hands. Sasuke went mad. He killed Orochimaru's ninjas. He returned to Konoha with Naruto's body. Kushina felt her skin crawl as she remembered that day, seeing her son return to her only as a corpse. My heart was broken. I lost both of the ones I loved. Minato gave his soul to save my life. He took the Kyuubi down into himself and sealed the rest into Naruto. I've never been so sad in my life. My son was dead and there was nothing was going to bring him back. At first I pity Sasuke. He was controlled by Orochimaru. Mikoto still had her son and I had none. One night Sasuke came to me. He wanted me to forgive him for killing Naruto. Kushina looked up at the dark skies. Kushina felt so sad and angry at the same time. I forgave Sasuke. He kissed me. He told me he promised Naruto to make me happy. I made love to my godson. I betray my love for Minato only to forgive my godson. I felt so dirty, so dirty. I wasn't a mother anymore. I was just a woman. Sasuke met Madara a year later. Madara told him the real reason why Itachi murdered the Uchiha, only leaving his mother and Sasuke alive. That was the day how it all started. One by one the women that loved Sasuke fell into his hands. Sasuke. I didn't know what he was planning. I came home one day and found Sasuke. He was. Kushina grinned her teeth in anger. What was he doing? Sasuke asked Kushina this one he really wanted to know. He was raping his mother. He raped Mikoto right in front of me. Sasuke's clones attacked me. He tied me up and forced me to watch him his mother. He soon came for me. He raped me as well, more than he did to Mikoto. I won't be surprised if he's her as we speak. That dirty bastard, how could he do such a thing to your own mother and godmother? Sasuke paused behind the mask, his eyes widened in shock. He couldn't believe what this dark Sasuke was doing. He believed Madara just like he did, but he took everything to a whole new level. He raped his own mother and he raped Kushina as well. Where is Tsunade, the fifth Hokage? Where is she? Why did she let this happen? Sasuke asked. Kushina suddenly laughed. Tsunade. She left the moment Naruto was brought dead. I should have joined her and Shizune. Why didn't you just kill Sasuke? I should've, but I didn't, I couldn't. At the time I saw him as my godson. He was Naruto's best friend. I promise Naruto to treat Sasuke as my own. I promise my boy one day I shall avenge him. That was 3 years ago. I was waiting for the right moment, but every time I had my shot, I just couldn't do it. I saw Naruto. I saw my boy in his eyes. So are you going to be his slave forever? Just because you see Naruto in his eyes? Sasuke felt upset for unknown reason. He just felt angry at Kushina. What do you think Naruto is thinking of you now? How his mother become nothing but a whore to his so-called best friend? You can't live like this forever. Kushina, do something before it's truly too late. He hasn't broke your will. Kushina glare at Sasuke. Who are you and why do you care so much? You act as if you knew my son. You're just a nobody. Do you have any idea how I feel to see my home fall? To see the girl who was going to marry my son become used by Sasuke and his men. Kushina shouted. You had the chance to act, you had your shot. You screw it up, you're not Naruto's mother, you're just a worthless. Before Sasuke could finish what he was about to say, Kushina punched Sasuke right in his face. The mask cracked the moment Kushina's right fist made impact. Sasuke hit the wall and fell down on his knees. Sasuke looked up to see Kushina was surrounded by a powerful aura of chakra. I dare you to say those words. I dare you, I double. Kushina was ready to finish him. The reason why Kushina's will was not broken because he made a promise to Naruto and to herself she'll end Sasuke's life and free everyone who Sasuke brought pain and suffering. Kushina pulled her right fist back and was about to deliver the finishing blow to Sasuke. But suddenly Kushina's fist was caught by someone. Kushina turned to see it was Naruto even though he still had the cloth over his head. Stop. This is not going to help Kushina. I am sure Naruto would not want to see you suffer anymore. The cloth fell off Naruto showing himself to Kushina. Kushina's eyes widen in shock. Kushina covered her mouth with both hands, she fell down to her knees. Oh my god. This can't be. Naruto, you're alive, my boy is alive. Naruto tried to calm Kushina down. Kushina, calm down, it's okay. Sasuke's snake mask fell apart. Kushina saw Sasuke's face. She was about to beat the living shit out of him. Naruto grabbed hold of Kushina's arms. Calm down, Kushina. Calm down, he isn't the Sasuke you know. Sasuke show Kushina his neck. No curse mark. Kushina calmed down for the moment. Kushina turned to Naruto and hugged him tightly, not letting him go, not even for a second. But thinking back to all of the things she done for Dark, Sasuke let go of Naruto. She didn't deserve his warm hug, but yet Naruto didn't let go of her. She held her close to him, holding her close to him. I forgive you, Ka-san. I know your Naruto have forgiven you as well. It's not your fault, I know, I felt it. Kushina cried into Naruto's chest. Naruto looked at Sasuke with a mean glare. Sasuke looked at the ground. I'm sorry what I said, Kushina. Where I and Naruto are from. Both of our parents are dead. We grew up as orphans. I'm sorry, forgive me. And I'm sorry if you hear me disrespecting Kushina, Naruto. Naruto nodded his head. The main problem was this dark world and this world Sasuke. Sasuke, we have to deal with this problem. This dark Sasuke is going to be a big problem. Kushina, please tell us more. In order for us to help you and save everyone, you'll have to help us. Tell what happened to everyone else, what happened to the rest. Where's Kakashi Sensei, Yamato, Neji, Lee, even Kiba and Shino, Shikamaru and Choji, what happened to them? Kakashi, Yamato, Neji are alive, they escaped during the takeover. What of the rest of them? Kiba, Shino, Shikamaru and Choji are alive. But they're being held in Sasuke's prison below the tower basement. I begged Sasuke to spare their lives. Shikamaru has a plan, but he needs more ninja, more help. I secretly deliver the letter to Gaara, but send Temari and few men, but Sasuke caught on and broke Temari during the fight. Gaara told me he was coming, but that was a month ago. What of Lee? Kushina answered Naruto's question with a heavy silence. Kushina, you didn't. I didn't. Lee died during the takeover. Out of all, Lee was so close to kill Sasuke. Alright Sasuke, we need to go and find Gaara, he can help us. Wait, I know someone else who can help us. Go to the village hidden in the rain. Tell him Konan send you. He will know what to do. It's the Akatsuki, isn't it? Naruto frowned. Kushina nodded her head. But not the Akatsuki Madara's controls. Madara has a new Akatsuki here in Konoha. The old Akatsuki will help you believe, so everyone wants Sasuke and Madara's head badly. Kushina, come with us. Naruto begged his other world mother. Kushina shook her head. I cannot. If Sasuke knows I'm missing, he'll send the Akatsuki. I will be captured again and he'll kill the both of you. Please, you must leave and bring back help, please. You're our only hope to end this hellish nightmare, please. Sasuke and Naruto looked at one another as they nod their heads. Naruto hugged Kushina one last time before he and Sasuke leave Konoha to find Gaara and the old Akatsuki. Kushina, promise me to not fall. Please do not fall. I don't want to lose you again. Kushina nodded her head. Kushina looked at Sasuke as her stare became a glare. He may be a different Sasuke, but he still have his eyes, face and voice. Come on Sasuke, we have a village to save. Rushing through the forest of Konoha, Naruto jumped from treetop to treetop as Sasuke followed from behind. Sasuke couldn't keep up with Naruto due to the fact Naruto was using his Sage Mode powers while running. Naruto, wait up. Naruto didn't hear him, only kept on pushing. Tisk. Sasuke frowned, he closed his eyes and opened them. Sasuke tossed a kunai at Naruto as kunai missed Naruto by an inch. Naruto stopped to turn around, looking at Sasuke with a serious look on his face. Slow down, I can't keep up. Sasuke spoke. Naruto smirked. Funny, I always was the one trying to keep up with you. Sasuke couldn't help but smirked right back at Naruto. True. But slow down Naruto. There's a big difference between us in power. Your sage powers make you faster than you normally are. You have nature on your side. And you have your brother's Sharingan, don't you? You have awakened your Uchiha bloodline. You're smarter than I am. But together we are unstoppable. Naruto looked curious. Sasuke shook his head. No, we are a team. Naruto, I know you want to save this world's Kushina and Sakura. You want to rescue everyone you cared. But this isn't your world, Naruto. You can't save everyone. You just don't get it, do you? Why do you think I never gave up on you, Sasuke? You believe I could have a chance. Naruto nodded his head. But Naruto, this dark world is different. You won't get everything just by being yourself. One wrong move can get yourself killed, then who would save them? Sasuke's words were true as much it hurts to say it. That look in her eyes, Kushina's eyes and Sakura's eyes. They lose hope. I saw it, their light is dying. I saw nothing but darkness slowly consuming them. Naruto tightened his fist as he grinned his teeth in anger. I know, Naruto, I know. I hate it. I hate that look in their eyes. How could this happen? Didn't anyone else in this world could stop Dark Sasuke? How could the world fall to this dirty form? My world, our world, is beautiful, filled with light and hope. Naruto felt helpless as he thought of Kushina, Sakura, Hinata and Konan being Dark Sasuke's pets and slaves. I thought by letting myself fall into darkness, I thought I could find my light. But now I know you are the light, Naruto. You're my brother, you said so yourself. Sasuke walked over to Naruto's side as he placed his right hand on Naruto's shoulder. I was wrong, Naruto. I was the idiot, not you. But now we can't stand here and feel sorry. If we don't do anything about it, this world will truly fall into hell, and worst matters, Kushina lose her strength and have Dark Sasuke broke her. He broke Mikoto. She may be his mother, but she is also my mother as well. Don't think you are the only one suffering, Naruto. Sasuke's active his Sharingans, his new Sharingans, the Sharingans of his and Itachi's combine as one. Naruto wipe his sorrow away. Yeah, you're right. Sasuke, don't hold it against me, but when we get back, I am going to kick Dark Sasuke's. You and me both. You have no problem killing yourself. That's not me, Naruto. That's not me. Back at Dark Konoha. Dark Sasuke's chamber. Dark Sasuke sat there on the edge of his bed, while Sakura, Konan, Temari, Hinata, Ino lay there asleep on his bed. He had finished mating with them. Dark Sasuke thought back to the monster that attacked him during the party. Dark Sasuke suddenly started to cough. His cough became from a normal cough to a very bad one. Dark Sasuke saw blood in his right palm. Damn it, I have competed before, that damn fox's curse gets me. Thinking you can kill me like this. The doors of his chambers opened wide as Kushina entered the room. Kushina keeled down to Dark Sasuke. The beast is dead. Kushina lied. Dark Sasuke smiled. Good, now tell me, have you found any other fools who tried to assassinate me? Kushina shook her head. No, Sasuke. Sasuke-sama. It pains Kushina to call him that every time. Now you missed out on the fun, but I believe a good tit job will do. Dark Sasuke smirked. He opened his legs wide for Kushina to have a good view at his. Kushina sighed at defeated, removing her clothes, placing her together. Pumping her between Dark Sasuke moaned with delight while getting a tit job from the beautiful busty red-haired Uzumaki. Kushina thought back to Naruto. It still surprises her that a Naruto has come to this world, especially along with another Sasuke, to save her and everyone. Dark Sasuke grabs by her hair and forces his into her mouth, as he pumps his hips forward. Kushina couldn't do anything about it, as she could do as he said until Naruto and good Sasuke returns with help, and knowing this Naruto he would keep his word. Dark Sasuke came inside Kushina's mouth. Swallow it. He told her. Kushina didn't swallow his, she spit out from her mouth. Dark Sasuke slapped Kushina across her face, leaving a red mark on her right cheek of her face. Bitch, you forget you rules this village. Don't forget it's your fault all of this happened. Making love to your own godson, how low can you go, Kushina? Sasuke smiled. You came to me, you begged me to forgive you, have you not forgotten? Kushina shouted at Dark Sasuke. None of that matters how it started. You did nothing. You have much chance to kill me yet you did nothing. Dark Sasuke laughed. You will die. Kushina spoke underneath her breath. What was that? I said you will die. Kushina yelled. That chance? You think Gaara will come and stop me? I raped his big sister and I'll rape her again. You think he can stop me, stupid bitch? Dark Sasuke laughed. Sasuke-kun. A soft voice spoke. Dark Sasuke turned around to see. It was Hinata Hyuga, who just woke up from her slumbers. When will Naruto-kun come back? You promise he'll come back? Hinata asked. Dark Sasuke smiled as he patted Hinata on her head. Soon, very soon I'll bring Naruto back. For now you do as I said and I'll bring Naruto back, Hinata, just for you. Now since you are awake, would mind opening your legs for me? It will help me bring Naruto back. Kushina growled at Dark Sasuke, making empty promises, especially to the sweetest and nicest girl in all of Konoha. Kushina turned away as Hinata Hyuga opened her legs wide, giving Dark Sasuke permission to her here and now. Naruto, please come back safe. Back with Naruto and Sasuke. Bridge of Path. Going across a giant bridge that set up the pathway to the village hidden in rain and also goes to the desert of Suna. Which path we should go? Naruto asked Sasuke. Naruto, I don't. Wait, I hear that. Sasuke said, as both Naruto and Sasuke remained silent when they heard the sound of nothingness. I hear nothing. Naruto said. I know. Sasuke kept his guard up. Bombs away, bitch. A voice shout. Naruto and Sasuke looked upward as they saw a giant dragon came down, destroying the bridge that they was on. Naruto and Sasuke jumped over the dragon, making across the other side of the bridge. Well, look at what we got here. The voice spoke as Naruto and Sasuke knew who that voice belonged to. It was Deidara of the Akatsuki, wearing a torn Akatsuki coat. His blonde hair was out loose as he didn't wear his eye patch over his right eye. Deidara looked at Sasuke with a dead angry stare, but when he turns to look at Naruto, Deidara's eyes widen in shock. No way. It can't be. Is that you, Naruto? Deidara spoke. Naruto looked confused. It's me, Deidara. Don't you remember me? Deidara's happy smile disappears in a quick second as he quickly caught on what was going on. Bringing Naruto back from the dead to with us, Sasuke. I don't think so. I'm so gonna bomb the living shit out of you, Uchiha. You took Ino away from me. You failed to kill us. Deidara tightened his fists as large amount of blue glows around Deidara's body. Deidara, wait. A new voice spoke. Deidara looked back to see who was there. It was Kakashi Hatake. What is it, Hatake? I'm about to kill the Uchiha. That isn't Sasuke. Hatake spoke. Naruto and Sasuke looked to see standing on the overside of the bridge. Kakashi Hatake, former leader of Team 7, student of Minato Namikaze. Kakashi Hatake did not look so well. His left arm was gone. His clothes were torn and his eyes were both Sharingan eyes. Kakashi Sensei. Naruto spoke. Naruto Shippuden Movie 2. Soundtrack. Byakuya playing. Kakashi smiled behind his mask. It's been years since I've been called that. Naruto, it's good to see you again. I know you are not our Naruto, are you? How do? I follow you, ever since you escaped Konoha. Come, Gaara wants to see you. Kakashi jumped over to Deidara's clay dragon. Deidara let them ride. I understand Naruto but not the Uchiha. He's different. No he isn't, he's still the same bastard who raped my Ino-chan and broke both of my arms. Deidara growled with an angry grin. Kakuzu, fix your arms, you can use them. This Sasuke doesn't have the curse mark. We need them, think Deidara. The quicker we get more members the more chance we go and save Ino and the others. Deidara cursed underneath his breath. Tell them to hurry up or I'll leave them. Land of grass. Hidden underground cave. Gaara, we have returned and we have guessed. You're not going to believe who they are. Kakashi spoke. Just as Sasuke took one step at the entertains of the cave. The ground came to life, gripping Sasuke by his feet, dragging him down only to have it stop by his shoulders with his neck fully exposed. Sasuke. Naruto yell. That voice, is that Naruto? Naruto turned to see as out from the shadows came Gaara of the desert. Gaara looked the same as Gaara of Naruto's world, only different were, Gaara's hair grew longer, his hair stopped at his shoulders. We have much to talk. Gaara spoke. Indeed. Spoke a new voice. Pain. Naruto spoke as standing before was none other than Pain, leader of the Akatsuki. Naruto Uzumaki, you are alive, brought back from the world of the dead. Let's talk. I send by Konan. 1 hour later. And that's what happened. Naruto explained to Pain, Kakashi, Deidara how he and Sasuke came to their world and what happened when they came to Konoha. So Konan has been captured. I was afraid of this, we need to go now before it's too late. You spoke of Dark Sasuke. Pain looked at good Sasuke for a second before going back to talking. He's having a party and half of the village's leaders were there. Yes, Grass, Cloud and Rock were there as well, the Lord of Fire. Naruto said. Where is Tsunade, Jiraiya? Naruto asked Pain, Kakashi and Gaara. Tsunade's location we have. Jiraiya, however, Jiraiya we have Jiraiya, he is with us. Do you wish to see him? Pain asked Naruto. Yes. Naruto nodded his head. After this we find Ba-chan and go and save Konoha. Are you sure, Naruto? Sasuke has many allies on his side. Kakashi said. Naruto had a deep frown on his face. Uzumaki, Uchiha, Gaara, Hatake, Pain, Deidara and the rest of the Akatsuki that stayed. I believe this will be enough to take back Konoha. I'm taking my home back and there's nothing will stand in my way from saving my loved ones. Naruto rethink we need. Kakashi was cut off by Naruto. Naruto shouted at Kakashi. No, if we stand and do nothing, that bastard will broke everyone's will. I will not lose this Konoha or any Konoha. I will not lose everyone I care about. Not after I work so hard to gain everyone's respect. It doesn't matter if you're from my world or not. I am Naruto Uzumaki, the son of the 4th Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki. I was chosen to be the one who will free this world of hate and suffering. And that's what I'm gonna do, I will not fail. Naruto's eyes changed to the Kyuubi's eyes. Naruto Uzumaki, a man of his word, that was his ninja way. Never break a promise and never give up, even if it looks grim, he would never give up, he will never submit to anyone or anything. You heard him, Kakashi. Sasuke spoke with a smile. He has made up his mind and so have I. I've made a lot of mistake in my world. But here I never thought of doing an evil thing, this dark Sasuke. This is the darkness Naruto wanted to stop from being born within me. I don't want you to forgive me or like me, I just want to help you beat this dark Sasuke, even if it means killing him. If you or Naruto or even Kushina can't kill this dark Sasuke, then Sasuke draw out his katana. I will gladly be the one to end his life, even it means to end my own. Sasuke, don't. Naruto looked worried. Sasuke shook his head. Naruto, you believe me and I never believe in you. If you can't do it, allow me to end it by myself. I made this darkness in my own heart. It was because of you I am back being myself. Allow me to do thing as myself, the real Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto slowly nodded his head. Alright, Sasuke. But only if I can't do it, I am unable to. But don't think you are the only one who wants to rip that bastard to pieces. Now if you excuse me, I am going to see Jiraiya. Naruto walked into the back of the hideout. Naruto. Pain spoke as he got Naruto's attention. Yes. Don't kill him. I won't, he's my teacher and godfather. But I want to know why he didn't help Kushina. I don't want to hear he didn't know or he wasn't there when it happens or it was too late. If he does, Jiraiya, tell me that, I'll make Ba-chan's punches seem like love taps. Naruto looked away as his Kyuubi's eyes didn't fade away. This world is truly dark. Sasuke sighed. And you two are two lights in this dark world. Kakashi spoke. Seems so. Sasuke frowned, but then Sasuke looked back. Where's Itachi Uchiha of this world? Itachi is dead. He died before he could settle his fight with Dark Sasuke. Pain told Sasuke. Do you have his body? Is his eyes there? Yes, why do you ask? Pain grew curious. Sasuke Uchiha. Gaara spoke. Sasuke looked back only to see a big wave of sand rushing towards him. Sasuke was forced out of the Akatsuki cave. What the hell, Gaara? Sasuke active his Sharingans. You may not be the same Sasuke who took Temari's innocent and made her a slave. But I will not allow you be a part of this mission unless you know what it likes to feel the lost of this world. Gaara stared at Sasuke. What are you talking about? Fight me and you will see the suffering of this world, the wrath of my sands. Elsewhere in Konoha. Underground of Dark Sasuke's tower. Dark Sasuke came down to the underground part of his tower, where Orochimaru does his experiments in peace. Dark Sasuke came and saw before him a giant glass tube. It is almost ready, Sasuke-kun. Orochimaru said with a smile. Good. Remember our deal. The snake ninja smiled. Of course I shall give you my firstborn child. I still can't get Kushina pregnant, my keep dying before it can reach her eggs. Sasuke growled. But Sasuke started to cough badly as blood came out from his mouth, but Sasuke shook it off. Of course, her body once holds the Kyuubi. I believe some of the Kyuubi's DNA has left a mark on her. Keeping her from having a child by anyone, but my new experiment will fix that. Orochimaru walked up to the glass tube and smiled upon his newest experiment. Inside the glass tube was a teenage blonde girl with whisker marks on her cheeks. Yes, this will be just the thing to break Kushina's spirit completely. Sasuke dodged Gaara's assault attack, dodging left and right, trying not to get caught by Gaara's sand. Sasuke could see it in Gaara's sea green eyes. Sasuke was trying his best not to fight back but dodged Gaara's attacks. Sasuke could tell this Gaara, the Gaara of this dark world, wasn't as fast or more focused as the Gaara of their world. Could be because Naruto of this world was dead, and what has happened to Temari? Come on Gaara, you can do better than that. Sasuke tried to mock Gaara to see the best this Gaara could do. When Gaara saw Sasuke smiled, something in Gaara suddenly snapped. Sasuke saw it within Gaara's. Gaara clapped his hands together as Gaara's went blank white as Gaara shouted with his might as Sasuke quickly backed away 10 feet from Gaara, believing he was going to pull a sand base attack. Taste the power of the sand. Gaara shouted. A large wave of sand raised up underneath Gaara as the wave was sent towards Sasuke. Sasuke quickly acted as he used his sword to cut right through the sand with ease, but however the sand wave Sasuke cut apart quickly reconnected and took on the form of pair of giant hands. Sasuke looked back with his eyes glazed in horror. You. Sasuke closed his eyes. But however nothing happens, no impact, no pain, nothing. Sasuke opened his eyes to see the giant sand hands stop in their tracks. Now you how I and Naruto felt helpless and alone, Sasuke. I know your clan were slaughtered by your brother. But unlike you, Naruto and I barely had a family to love us. Naruto only had his mother, he never had his father, and I never had a mother nor the love of my father. Gaara glared at the Uchiha. Don't think you're special because happened to you. Remember that, and if you betray this Naruto. Gaara paused for a second as Gaara looked away. I will kill you. Sasuke panting with fear he hadn't felt in a very long time. Not since his battle with the Deidara of his world. Sasuke remembered how much of a jerk he even in battle after he left Konoha. Sasuke nearly forgotten the taste of defeat, and this Gaara had made him remember. Sasuke frowned. Gaara. Gaara looked over his right shoulder. What is it, Uchiha? Gaara asked. Don't look down at me because I look like him. You don't just look like him. You are him. Sasuke growled at the sand ninja. That's not true, that's not me. Sasuke protested. You tried to not look at from your view. But you have his face, his eyes, his blood, his jutsu. You are him. This Naruto drove you away from that path. But I still worry that you may return to that path. As I said before, I will kill you if betray not only Naruto but us as well. Sasuke Uchiha of my world raped my big sister, killed Kankuro. I have every right to hate you, Sasuke Uchiha. But if you say are you different from our Sasuke, I have yet to see it. Gaara walked off, leaving Sasuke to fall down to his knees. Sasuke bare his teeth. I'm not him. I'm not like that sick bastard. Sasuke never thought in his life he hated himself or has hated of what this Sasuke is or has become. Was this the path he would have become? If it was Sasuke didn't want to go down that path, even if it kills him, he won't go down to such a level. I agree with Gaara. Show us you are different from him, yeah. Deidara spoke to Sasuke as Sasuke looked up to see Deidara looking down at the Uchiha. What's your story? Sasuke asked. Deidara frowned at first, but he spoke. I am not sure of the Deidara of your world. I am an Uzumaki. Naruto and Kushina are my family, though I am not a pure-blooded Uzumaki. Naruto is my cousin and Kushina is my aunt. Ino was to be my wife when she turns 18. But all of that has changed. Are you waiting for me to say I'm sorry or something? Sasuke asked. Deidara smirked. No, I don't. If it wasn't for Kakashi or pain or even the fact you brought us a Naruto, I would end you the moment I saw you. I hate the Uchiha clan. I hate every Uchiha, but there is only one Uchiha I respect. Itachi Uchiha. No. Sasuke looked surprised. It wasn't Itachi, but who was the Uchiha that Deidara respects? Who? Mikoto Uchiha. Mother. But how? Deidara explained to Sasuke. I came to Konoha looking for Naruto and Kushina. My mother had died from an illness. So I journeyed to Konoha to find my aunt and her son. When I came to Konoha, I couldn't find them at the moment. So I bumped into a woman who was Mikoto Uchiha. She offered me a spot for her home, but I told I was looking for Kushina. She showed me the way. Unlike any Uchiha I have ever met, she was the kindest and life-loving one I have ever met. She was pure art. Another reason why I hate you, because what Sasuke did to her own son. Deidara's frown returned. Deidara grabbed Sasuke by the throat as their eyes met. If I ever get the chance to finally put that bastard down, I want him to look me in the eye right before I end his life. Everyone blames Kushina for what happened. But I truly know it's Sasuke's fault all of this happened. He preyed on her weakness. Deidara tightened his grip on Sasuke's throat. That bastard ruined not only my life but Kushina's, Mikoto's, and who knows how many others. Deidara let him go. Kakashi's voice was heard as Deidara let go of Sasuke. As Sasuke coughed for fresh air as the young half-blooded Uzumaki left, returning inside the base. Sasuke stood up as he looked at Kakashi, his former sensei. Even in this dark world he was still Naruto's and his sensei. Everyone hates me because of him. I can't gain their trust, only Naruto trusts me. Sasuke frowned as he now sees what Naruto was trying to do all this time. Naruto always had his back, but now it was time for Sasuke to end this. Ending dark Sasuke's rule is the only way Sasuke can truly free himself from the dark path. Sasuke, I believe the only people can truly stop our Sasuke is you and Naruto. Don't let the darkness consume you as it did to our Sasuke. Naruto saved you from that path. Do not fall into that abyss again. This world needs you too. You are the only ones who has not lost their light. Kakashi told Sasuke as Sasuke gave a nod. Naruto has done so much to save me, now it's for me to help him save this world. With Naruto. In Akatsuki's guest room. Naruto walked down to the end of the hideout of the old remaining Akatsuki as Naruto was surprised to see who was standing guard to the door of the guest room. It was Neji Hyuga. Neji Hyuga wore a blindfold over his eyes as there was a scar line from eyes down to his right cheek. Neji. Naruto spoke with a heavy frown. Neji grew a small smile. So what Kakashi was true. Another Naruto has come to save our world. Naruto looked at Neji from head to toe. What happened? Neji explained to Naruto. I lost my eyes, taken they were. But now I can see more than I ever could. I couldn't protect Hinata-sama, but I was able to save Hanabi, the rest of the Hyugas. Hinata gave herself to save the Hyuga clan. Hinata never got the chance to say this, but Neji explained to Naruto. I know Neji. She loves me. Naruto remembered that day, the day Hinata told Naruto she loves him. In my world, Hinata nearly gave her life to save me. Now it's time for me to save her. Neji smiled. Jiraiya is in the room. Naruto, tell me what of the Neji of your world. Naruto patted Neji's right shoulder. Tough, brave, still thinks he's smartest ninja ever. He's no different from out. He's still one of my friends. The guest room. Naruto entered the guest room only to spot Jiraiya sitting in a chair drinking sake. There was heavy smell coming from Jiraiya. Naruto looked at Jiraiya from head to toe. much like the Jiraiya from his world, but Jiraiya never had drank so much sake like this one. This Jiraiya's hair was longer, his clothes were dirty as his eyes were red from the lack of sleep. Pervy sage, is that you? Naruto spoke to get Jiraiya's attention as the once great Toad sage looked to see Naruto standing at the doorway as the door closed behind Naruto. Naruto took one step forward to see Jiraiya as Jiraiya rubbed his eyes to see if his eyes weren't playing tricks on him. Naruto, it can't be. Jiraiya spoke as he stared at Naruto. It's me. I'm not the Naruto you know, it's hard to explain. I need to know. Naruto took one step closer to Jiraiya as Jiraiya stepped back. Away. Get away from me, don't come any closer. Naruto could hear the sound of fear within Jiraiya's voice. What happened? Naruto asked. Jiraiya still believed he was seeing things, believing the Naruto he was now seeing could be Naruto's ghost. Leave me alone, forgive me, I didn't help. It's not my fault. Why didn't you help? Why didn't you help Konoha during the fight? Naruto asked. Tsunade left the day you died. I don't blame her, so did I, but Kushina stayed behind. Because of her it happens. She becomes a whore to Uchiha like all the others. Jiraiya took another slip of his bottle of sake. Don't speak of her that way. Naruto bare his teeth. Sorry to say it, Naruto. It's her fault, everyone knows it. Jiraiya spoke. Naruto's eyes flashed red for a second. Oh really? Where were you? Where was Ba-chan? You two were strong and you left Konoha because of my death. The Ba-chan and pervy sage I know would never quit or give up. Naruto shouted at Jiraiya. Jiraiya drank some more sake. It's only because of you Tsunade become the 5th Hokage. You were the very reason she stayed. You could have helped stop it before it happened or came back to help in the fight. Naruto felt his anger started to boil up bit by bit. Orochimaru, the Akatsuki all were there helping Sasuke. They were too much for us, beside it wasn't my problem, I left Konoha long ago, leaving her again was no problem. You can solve everyone's problems just because it's right, Naruto. Kushina knew that, and yet look at where she is now. At Sasuke's feet like a pet like Hinata. Sakura, I'm sorry I couldn't save them, Naruto, but the world isn't filled with flowers and butterflies. Suddenly powerful blow strikes to Jiraiya's face, sending the former sage to the wall of the guest room. Naruto's eyes went Kyuubi as he reached his right hand out, gripping Jiraiya's throat. Couldn't save them. You couldn't save them. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. You are not my sensei, you are not my godfather, you not even worth being the sensei. Who my father looked as a hero. Naruto shouted in Jiraiya's face as Jiraiya suddenly noticed the Naruto before was real and now a ghost. Naruto unleashed his assault upon Jiraiya, delivering punches to Jiraiya's face. Naruto's fists were covered in blood as Naruto didn't end Jiraiya's left, only left him beaten. Sasuke entered the room to see Naruto looking down at Jiraiya with hatred in his eyes. It's not Kushina's fault. It's yours and Baa-chan fault for not helping. Naruto kicked Jiraiya in the stomach as Jiraiya coughed up blood. Naruto, that's enough, you're killed him. Sasuke said. Naruto looked at his best friend right before he looked back at the beaten Jiraiya. Naruto grabbed Jiraiya's throat once again. After I am done with this, dark Sasuke, after I free this world, I want you to say you're sorry to Kushina, to the whole Uzumaki family. Same goes for Ba-chan, both of you just former shadow of yourselves, not even worthy of being the great Sanins. You disappoint me, Jiraiya. You were my friend, my sensei. When you died I was filled with nothing but anger. But here in this world I am dead, and yet you and Ba-chan not a damn thing. I fought pain just avenge you, and if Ba-chan were to died I would have done the same for her. Naruto let go of Jiraiya, walked off disappointed in Jiraiya and what he has become. 1 hour later. Outside of Akatsuki hideout. Naruto sat down outside of the hideout as the night was cold. Naruto sat down near a river. Naruto never felt so furious in his life. I hate this world. I hate it. Naruto told himself. But we are here and must save it. Sasuke's voice was heard. Naruto looked back to see his best friend as Sasuke sat down beside Naruto. This world is messed up. Yeah, it is, you're dead. And you're an evil bastard who raped my mother and even your mother. Both Naruto and Sasuke sweatdrop of how this world is truly dark, as both of them hated this world. Sasuke, promise me this. Naruto looked at Sasuke with a sad look in his eyes. What is it, Naruto? Promise me you won't turn out as dark Sasuke. Promise me you'll be my friend, you won't betray me. Promise me we'll be brothers right until the end back to back. Naruto held out his pumped fist as Sasuke bumped Naruto's right fist. I promise. Just don't get yourself killed, Naruto. But before we can go back and rescues everyone. Promise me this. Yes, Sasuke. I'll help you save Kushina, Sakura, even Hinata, but promise me you'll save my mother. I want to save her, but I dare not to show my face for not what I had done in our world. But what Dark Sasuke has done to her, to everyone. Dark Sasuke have rued me, I know, even after we save everyone and beat him. I know everyone will not trust me. Promise me you'll save my mother, Mikoto Uchiha. If you do that, I will own you big time. Naruto smiled at Sasuke as Naruto grinned. I promise, Sasuke. Naruto Uzumaki never breaks his promise. Sasuke, there's one thing I want to know. Yes. Sasuke asked. If you were already given Itachi's eyes, why do you ask if this Itachi still has his? Pain told me a while ago. Sasuke sighed as he explains to Naruto. Dark Sasuke, Susanoo, the curse seal, and what others' powers. He could be given any Uchiha's eyes. Madara had his brother's eyes, so he becomes somewhat immortal. If I have twice of those eyes, if I am given Itachi's eyes again, my power will jump insanely. But I am not sure how powerful I will become, but I am sure I will be strong enough to face Dark Sasuke and the Madara of this world. I hope he doesn't have any Uchiha's eyes. If that ever to mind, I will think I would become more of the god that I am. A very familiar voice as both Naruto and Sasuke turned around to see a giant fireball being sent towards them. Naruto and Sasuke dodged the giant fireball. Both Naruto and Sasuke's eyes widen in shock as who it was. Naruto and Sasuke, so nice to see you two again. The very familiar voice chuckled. Madara Uchiha. The two ninjas spoke at the same time. Ah, you two have survived as well. So tell me, what do you think of this world? I believe it has quite the lovely touch of darkness. Madara chuckled. You live. You did this. Naruto shouted. Ah yes, it is me, the Madara Uchiha you two know, and the one of the same. I must thank you for sending me to this world. I changed Sasuke so much to my fitting, and I even changed the fate the Uzumaki family. Oh, Naruto, having Kushina killed was such a waste, having her alive is so much better. Who would have thought Uzumaki women are the best in bed? Madara chuckled once more. You bastard, I'll have your head for this. Naruto shouted furiously. You couldn't kill me together, what hope of you finishing me in this world? Madara laughed. Sasuke's blood ran cold as he'd glare at Madara. You planned this, you used me again. You drove Dark Sasuke to do such evil things, taking over Konoha, raping Kushina and Mikoto and the others. Madara laughed. Yes, I did plan it all. But Dark Sasuke wanted to be love, isn't wrong. He preyed on Kushina's weakness of losing her son, and Mikoto tried her best to help her best friend. So I thought if I had Sasuke learned the truth and told a little white lie about the fourth Hokage being the who ordered the Uchiha clan's death, oh, you should had seen it. He went batshit crazy, and Kushina told you only half of what Dark Sasuke did to her, and Mikoto he used them like no tomorrow. The rapes and gangbangs were only half of the good stuff. And to think everyone thinks it's Kushina's fault, but in truth it's all because of me. Naruto fury was about to reach its peak. He was ready to unleash the power of Kyuubi. But Sasuke stepped forward of Naruto. Madara Uchiha. You are not worthy of being the true heir of the Uchiha. Then again, you're not really Madara. Just an Uchiha who stole the real Madara's eyes and powers. I'll take those eyes and end this nightmare you created. Even if it means to kill yourself. Madara asked. I am Sasuke Uchiha. I am a true-blooded Uchiha, and I shall show you the true power of the Sharingan. Sasuke active his eternal Sharingans. Madara chuckled. Boy, you hadn't seen true power yet. I am Sasuke Uchiha. I am a true-blooded Uchiha, and I shall show you the true power of the Sharingan. Sasuke active his eternal Sharingans, as this was his moment to end Madara once and for all. Madara chuckled. Boy, you hadn't seen true power yet. Sharingan versus Sharingan, who was the true heir of the Uchiha bloodline, as Naruto backed off as he saw it within eternal Sharingan eyes. Sasuke's eyes perked with anger towards Madara. Madara smiled behind his mask. Fine, I'll take you on, boy. One-on-one, your little can't help you. Uchiha against Uchiha. I want to see how far a boy who loved his brother so dearly to an Uchiha who wanted revenge. The fake Madara chuckled. I am that no longer. What I desire is the end your life. Sasuke withdraw his special-made katana. Naruto watched as Sasuke dashed toward the fake Madara who was known as Tobi. Tobi dodged Sasuke's dash attack as he countered with a thrust kick to Sasuke's chest. Sasuke steadied his ground as he shook off the pain getting kicked in his chest. Tobi used Grand Fireball Jutsu to get rid or weaken Sasuke. But before the fireball reached Sasuke, Sasuke stabbed the ground with his sword as a barrier of lighting shielded him from the attack. Tobi laughed for a moment. Grown quite strong, if I hadn't guessed it. I could say you're strong as the other Sasuke. Then again that Sasuke is you. Sasuke knew what Tobi was up to, trying to anger him to keep him off track. Sasuke pulled his sword from the ground and tossed it into the air about 100 feet. Tobi looked up where his sword was going to land. Sasuke used Chidori on his right hand, sending a large electricity chain that reached out to his sword as it sent a rain thousand lighting knives down upon Tobi. Tobi's eyes widened in shock as he never seen this attack before. Tobi blocked with his arms as it rained down upon him. When the attack stopped, Sasuke held out his sheath as his sword felt perfectly into the sheath. Damn Sasuke, I've never seen you ever use that attack before. So you were holding back when you fought me in our world. And here I thought I was the only one holding back. Naruto thought as he smiled, cheering on his best friend. Tobi's Akatsuki coat was burned off, but Tobi stood there suffering from small damages to his body. Tobi wore samurai-like body armor underneath his Akatsuki coat. Tobi was a bit surprised by Sasuke's new attacks. New moves, huh? You do have some more, if not you just wasted your free shot, kid. Tobi glared at Sasuke. Sasuke wasn't afraid, he stood his ground, he was ready to take Tobi seriously. Sasuke grew a smirk. No Tobi, I got a whole lot more. Sasuke quickly performed his fireball jutsu as the fireball fired quickly towards Tobi. Tobi laughed at the good Uchiha. Good, so have I. Shinra Tensei. Powerful force blast away towards Sasuke, sending him flying 50 feet away from Tobi. Sasuke stabbed a nearby tree to stop the unknown force that greatly pushed him away. What the hell was that? Sasuke asked himself. Sasuke ran back to Tobi's location to see Tobi standing there waiting for Sasuke to return. What took you? Tobi laughed lightly as Sasuke growled at the old Uchiha. You may have new jutsu and attacks, but you are still weak. You will be always weak unless you take power like the Sasuke of this world did. Tobi vanished before Sasuke's eyes and appeared right behind him as he grabbed Sasuke by the back of his head and smashed Sasuke's face to the floor. Sasuke! Naruto yelled. Naruto Shippuden soundtrack despair playing in background. Tobi smashed Sasuke's face to the ground again as Tobi pulled Sasuke's head up. Sasuke spoke. Naruto, don't get in my way. This is my fight, not yours. Tobi smirked behind his mask as he smashed Sasuke's face to the ground a third time before smashing his right foot down upon Sasuke's head. Tobi was disappointed in this Sasuke. Not strong, not even powerful as the other. You Sasuke have wasted your life, believing that Naruto could help you, to make you strong by what? Friendship, looked where it has brought you. Sasuke lay there not showing a single sign of life. Your brother truly believed you were to be a hero to Konoha. In both worlds you are nothing but a threat, a monster to others. You want your brother dead for so long, and when you finally got what you wanted, were you happy to know you killed your brother? Of course not, your brother killed your family to save his home, but he left you alive. Again Sasuke show no sign of life as Tobi continue his speech. You wanted to kill the elders for what they did your brother. In the end you wanted to even kill your best friend because he stood in your way. You tried to kill Sakura Haruno, Kakashi Hatake to reach your goal. You even wanted to destroy the very village you once called home. And now you want to undo the sins you have done. Your brother is dead, everyone hates you, there is no light for you to bathe, there is nothing but darkness for you. Tobi laughed. Are you done talking? Tobi gasped when he heard Sasuke's coming from behind him. Tobi felt Sasuke's sword impale him in the chest as Sasuke added Chidori to the effect. Tobi coughed up blood as it leaked from the bottom of his mask. Tobi looked down at the Sasuke on the ground only to see it proof in smoke to show a log. I know I have done a lot of unforgivable things. But one person never gave up on me. Naruto. Because of him I seen what I could have become. This world's Sasuke. Naruto saved me from that life. I know everyone will hate me, hell I can't even win their trust. But everything that has happened so far is all because of you. You destroyed 3 lives that night of the Kyuubi. Mines, Naruto's and Itachi's. You are the beholder of my sins, you are the creator of the monster you've created. It is the way of men to make monsters, and it is the nature of monsters to destroy their makers. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 soundtrack. He Who Howls and Rages playing in background. Toby back head butted Sasuke as Sasuke shook his head as Toby jumped toward Sasuke as he reached out his right hand trying to steal Sasuke's left eye. But out of nowhere, Naruto came up to defend Sasuke from Toba's attack. Toby ripped Naruto's left eye out as Naruto struck Toby with a Rasengan to the stomach. As Toby was sent 6 feet away from the two, Naruto screamed in agony of having his left eye ripped out. Sasuke couldn't believe the action that Naruto took just to protect him. Ughhhhh rag my eye. Naruto screamed in agony. Naruto roll over on the ground. Naruto. Sasuke quickly went over to Naruto's side to check on him. Toby toss Naruto's left eye. Damn, got the wrong eye. Naruto. Thank you. Sasuke was grateful to his friend sacrificing his left eye for him. You own me an eye. Naruto hold his right hand over his left side of his face as the blood leaked from his left eye. Naruto, I need your help. I need your Rasengan. Make it big, your strongest Rasengan. I have a plan. If this works, we'll beat him and you will get your eye back. Sasuke said as Naruto nodded his head as Naruto used his left hand to form his Rasengan as the Rasengan formed into the Rasen Shuriken. Toby ran towards the 2 ninjas as Sasuke shouted, Naruto now. Naruto toss his Rasen Shuriken at Toby as Toby easily dodged it with a high jump. Sasuke used this moment to use his Chidori spear to reach out to Toby, but the Chidori phased through Toby. Toby laughed at the 2 down below. Is that your best? Toby shouted. That wasn't the plan, asshole. Naruto yelled as Toby gasped when he looked back to see Sasuke's Chidori spear hook on to Naruto's Rasen Shuriken and pulled back as Toba's eyes widened in horror. The Chidori Rasen Shuriken made full contact with Toby. Toby stared down at the 2 ninjas. Damn you both. Toby screamed in agony as the power of the wind and electricity combined together shocked every cell within Toba's body, also adding the bonus of the Rasen Shuriken effect of chakra poison. Toby was trapped within the giant lighting wind orb for over 7 minutes. Toba's armor was destroyed, his mask was also destroyed as the old Uchiha fell down to the ground hard. Naruto Shippuden soundtrack Hidden Will to Fight playing in background. Naruto panted. We did it. Naruto fell down to his knees. Hang on, Naruto. Don't die on me. Sasuke said as the young Uzumaki just chuckled, knowing the fact having his left eye ripped out wasn't going to put him out of the action. Wait here. Naruto nodded his head as Sasuke dashed over to where Toby fell. Sasuke looked down to see a badly wounded Toby lying on the ground. Toby smiled at Sasuke. You've done well. I have to admit, even I was surprised to see you combine your jutsu to form a powerful one. Even if I die, Dark Sasuke's plans to break Kushina's will go ease. I left my Moon's Eye planned with him as I die here. Sasuke, you will become like him. One day, it doesn't matter friendship or not. You can't face the facts. You like what this Sasuke has. I know you. Sasuke bare his teeth as he stabbed Toby in the chest with his sword. I'm not like him. I will never become him. You failed, Toby. You will die here. But know this, Sasuke Uchiha who beat you, a true heir to the Uchiha bloodline. Toby chuckled before he let out a big laugh. That may be true, but you can't stop Dark Sasuke. I trained the boy himself, but sadly he's dying. That why he wants to break Kushina's will. Naruto overheard Toby spoke of Kushina. Naruto walked over to see Toby before Toby met his end. What do you mean his dying? Naruto asked. I am not sure myself, but Dark Sasuke is dying. I am not sure if it has something to do with you, Naruto, or fate. He plan on breaking Kushina's will before he dies along with the Moon's Eyes plan. And with Orochimaru's help he can do it. Orochimaru can make a new body for Sasuke once he dies. But Orochimaru have created a creature, a clone, to get the job done. Can ya guess who clone did Orochimaru created? Naruto easily caught on to what Toby was talking about. That sick bastard. He's really plan on doing that. That low even for Orochimaru. I'll kill him before it can happen. Naruto bare his teeth as he growled. Toby enjoys seeing the look of anger on Naruto's face. I enjoy using Kushina and Mikoto. I can see the look on her face when her will finally is broken. As I die, know this: I have won. And you have lost. Toby laughed as death finally was able to collect his soul. Sasuke grabbed his sword, taking it from Toba's corpse, as Naruto and Sasuke both were sharing a strong look on anger on their faces. Cursing Toby for what he has done and promising themselves that they will end this nightmare. As the two ninjas turned away from Toba's corpse came to life as it jumped at the two ninjas. Sasuke stabbed Toby in the chest with his sword as Toby had a scared look within his eyes. As Sasuke had summoned Susanoo, as Sasuke's sword impaled Toby, so did Susanoo's sword, sealing the soul of Toby Uchiha within Sasuke's Susanoo jar forever. Toba's body dropped where it fell as his right Sharingan eye and left eye Rinnegan eye lost their colors upon sealing Toba's soul forever. Suffering eternality for your sins you have created, Toby. Sasuke's deactivate his Sharingan. Naruto smiled as Sasuke had proven to Toby that he has truly was the heir of the Uchiha bloodline. Sasuke, are you going to take his Sharingan? Naruto asked. No, I have proven myself that my Sharingan has surpassed even Madara's Sharingan. I don't need his eyes. I will defeat Dark Sasuke with the eyes and power that Itachi has given to me. But you, Naruto, you need your eye. Sasuke place his right hand over Toba's left eye and place his right hand over Naruto's left hand, and with a simply wave of the hand, Naruto's left eye was replaced with the Rinnegan that once belonged to Nagato, a fellow Uzumaki. Naruto blinked once as his left eye changed back into his original blue-colored eye. But when Naruto blinked a second time with both eyes, Naruto's blue eyes fuse into with Nagato's Rinnegan, creating a new version of the Rinnegan, a blue-colored Rinnegan. Sasuke soon saw red marking appear around Naruto's eyes as if Naruto went Sage mode. Naruto, how do you feel? Sasuke worried on Naruto's state. I feel much better. I don't know why, but I feel a surge of power flowing through me. This feeling, it feels like my Sage mode but different. I'm not sure how to say this, but I feel, strangely enough, good as new. No, better. I feel way better. Naruto smiled at his best friend as Sasuke returned the friendly smile to his friend. Naruto looked away from Toba's corpse. Come on, we have to act. If what Toby said is true, then we can't waste any more time here. We need to strike now before it's too late. I'm not going to lose Kushina. I won't let that happen. I agree. Let's go, Naruto. We have a village to save. Old Akatsuki HQ. So the puppet master is dead, but the puppet has taken the stage for himself. Pain spoke as Naruto and Sasuke told everyone about what Toby had done them. After we break Kushina's will, he's going with the Moon's Eye plan, Sasuke said. But Sasuke has all of the eight-tailed beasts, Deidara said. 8. So, Naruto suddenly grew a big smiled. What? Deidara asked. He doesn't have the ninth piece. If this world Naruto is dead, that means the Kyuubi died with him. I have a plan, everyone. Naruto grinned. What your plan, Naruto? Kakashi asked. We need to sneak inside the village. I know they must have double up the guards since our last visit. Nagato, I will need your help to keep Sasuke's forces busy for us to sneak inside. I will give you the sign for you to bring the big one. Tomorrow will be the day Dark Sasuke took over Konoha. He will surely have another festival like before. Deidara, as he frowned, he will be on a large throne with the girls at his side, pleasuring the guest and himself. Deidara bite his bottom lip. Sasuke usually have a Bane playing for entertainment. Gaara spoke. Naruto took a thought for a moment. We'll play, but not as ourselves, of course. This will be our one chance. If we fail, we die. But we die freeing Konoha from Dark Sasuke. Kill anyone who serves Dark Sasuke willingly. Orochimaru, Kabuto, Mizuki, and anyone else who betrayed Leaf to side with that bastard. You will face Kushina. She is not only his pet but his bodyguard as well. Kakuzu spoke. Before we attack, there is someone I need to find. Sasuke spoke. Naruto knew who Sasuke spoke of, Mikoto Uchiha. Sasuke nodded his head. We can camp near the village but not too close. Dark Sasuke has his dark samurais guarding outside of the village walls. Pain spoke. Hey Kakashi-sensei, where's Yamato-sensei? Naruto asked. Naruto soon heard a familiar voice from behind. I'm right here, Naruto. I hear what happened and I am willing to take back Konoha. Naruto looked back to see Yamato. Unlike Kakashi, there were no chances to Yamato, only that his Junin vest was torn up. Naruto smiled as his plan to take back Konoha will work. Two Steps from Hell soundtrack to glory playing in background. Outside of the old Akatsuki hideout, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Gaara, Pain and Deidara, Kakuzu, Neji and Yamato stand together as the sun sets as the moon rises. Naruto was given new clothes by Neji. Naruto wore an armor that was a fusion of samurai armor with ninja's armor. The armor wasn't too heavy to slow him down, but the armor wasn't thick to protect him. But it will keep Naruto from harm from Dark Sasuke's samurais. Naruto also given a katana. Sasuke found the sword in the Akatsuki hideout as the sword once belonged to this world's Itachi. Naruto took the sword and will use it to his own aid. Naruto wore a samurai straw hat over his head as Naruto tilt downward to hide his face. Let's go. Naruto smirked. Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi dash through the forest as Deidara ride through the skies with Pain and Neji, Yamato riding in Deidara's clay owl. I won't let this world fall into darkness. I won't fail. I won't lose her again. I won't. Naruto spoke to himself as Sasuke heard him. Sasuke shares his friend's goal, saving this world and rescue their loved ones, and most of all defeating Dark Sasuke. 1 mile away from Konoha. The guys were resting for tomorrow event as each of them was ready to face against the forces of Dark Sasuke. To glory theme's end. Hey Pain, there's something I wanted to ask you. Sasuke spoke. Yes. Pain asked. Sasuke looked bothered for a moment before he spoke. Who are the new Akatsuki that Dark Sasuke has? Pain stared at the campfire. They are members of the Akatsuki that betray us. Zetsu, Madara and a group of the former tailed beast hosts that were killed but brought back, and also there's Orochimaru. Are they strong? Naruto asked. Alone no, but together yes. The last time I fought them I lost 5 out of my 6 bodies. Madara killed my original body, but I was able to place a part of my soul into Yahiko's body. I was lucky Yahiko's body was able to take my soul so well. Yahiko, even in death you aid me. Pain grew a small smirk before returning his frown. Alright guys, let's get some rest. We will need every chakra in our bodies to get this job done. Kakashi spoke as everyone agreed. 1 hour later all were asleep but Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto couldn't sleep, his thoughts wander on what was going on within the village, what Dark Sasuke was doing and what horrible thing he was doing even now. Naruto left the camp quietly, not waking a single member of the group, leaving his armor and sword behind as well. Konoha. Streets. Naruto was able to sneak into Konoha. There was one spot that the dark samurais were not guarding. Naruto ran through the empty streets of Konoha, as Naruto found himself in the old Uchiha resident alley. Naruto saw there was light in one of the houses. Naruto being careful but curious, wondering who was inside the house. Naruto entered the house and peeked at the slightly open slide door. Naruto's eyes widen in shock to see what he has discovered. It was Mikoto Uchiha, Sasuke's mother. Mikoto was butt on the floor with her hands tied together and her legs chained together as she was wearing a blindfold over her eyes. Naruto also saw a man just finish pleasuring himself by using Mikoto. Thanks Mikoto, I sure did enjoy your company. The man chuckled with a sick grin as Naruto saw Mikoto's body was shaking as he could hear Mikoto moan, followed by the sound of her crying. Naruto glared at the man who just finishes using her. Naruto opened the door quickly, catching the man off guard as Naruto slayed the man quickly before he even saw Naruto's face. Naruto wiped the blood off his face as he turned his attention to Mikoto. Mikoto could hear Naruto walking towards her. Mikoto quickly freaked out. No. Stay away, no more. Please, no more. I can't take it anymore. Please, I beg you, please don't rape me. I have give you my body, please let me rest, please let me alone. Mikoto cried. Naruto frowned as he felt stomach turned hearing those words coming from Mikoto. How long has she been doing this, and many have already taken her by force. Mikoto, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here to save you. Mikoto heard Naruto's voice as she stopped crying. She knew that voice. She knew who that voice belonged to. It's been years since she heard that voice. Naruto. Naruto, is that you? But how can that be? Mikoto spoke. Naruto untie and unchain Mikoto. Naruto off his jacket off, giving Mikoto his orange jacket as Mikoto removed the blindfold as the thing her eyes saw were Naruto's blue eyes. Mikoto gasped happily as she hugged Naruto. Naruto. You're alive. You're alive. Mikoto cried tears of joy. Naruto couldn't help but smile as the Uchiha mother cried into his chest. Few minutes later, after giving Mikoto a shower to clear herself of the many men who used her today, as Mikoto had the lights in her house off, she didn't want anyone to know Naruto was here and the man just finished using her had left. Naruto told Mikoto who he is and what has happened since both him and good Sasuke came to this dark world of hers. So every day Sasuke or one of his men comes and rapes you every day. Mikoto frowned. Yes, it's been like for 3 years. Yet not one of them can bear a child with me. I can't have children because of what Sasuke place upon me. Sasuke stopped coming to see me about a year ago. He's trying to have a child with Kushina. I truly don't understand his reason for doing it. Mikoto, we can't stay here. I need to take you away from this place. I wish I can, but I can't. Mikoto frowned. And why not, Mikoto? Naruto asked. Mikoto turned around, showing her back towards Naruto as Naruto saw a tattoo of the Uchiha clan symbol on Mikoto's back. I can't leave because of this. I tried once and it nearly killed me. It can be removed, only be the one who place on me. This is what keeps me here and keeps me from having children. If you kill Sasuke and Orochimaru, I will be free. Naruto smiled at Mikoto. Don't worry, Mikoto, we'll end this for good. Just stay safe until we end this. Sasuke asked me to rescue you, but I guess that will have to wait after I beat Dark Sasuke. Naruto turned away as before he could leave. Mikoto grabbed Naruto's right hand, keeping him from leaving. Naruto looked back at Mikoto. Naruto, could you stay with me just a little longer? It's been a long time since I had company of someone I can trust. Seeing Mikoto's beautiful smile, Naruto nodded his head, but suddenly Mikoto's tattoo glowed as Mikoto ached in pain. Mikoto fell down to her knees as Mikoto's tattoo flashed bright red twice before. Mikoto, are you okay? Naruto hoped Mikoto wasn't dying. That was the last thing he wanted to happen. So hot. I feel so hot. Mikoto looked at Naruto. Mikoto tackled Naruto to the ground. Mikoto, what are you doing? Mikoto unzipped Naruto's pants. Naruto stared into Mikoto's eyes, seeing lust within her eyes. Forgive me, it's the tattoo. It's active every time there's a male around me. I can't control it anymore. I don't want to, but I can't stop it. Please don't hold it against me, Naruto, please. Seeing the Uchiha single mother shedding tears, even though he wasn't the Naruto of this world, to her eyes he was her godson, the son of her best friend Kushina Uzumaki. The last thing she wanted Naruto to do is to hate for her was going to rape him here and now. I'll take your pain away, Mikoto. I promise Sasuke I'll save you and I never break my promise. Mikoto closed her eyes as she smiled, shedding one more tear. Thank you, Naruto. I'm glad to see you again. But I wish it wasn't like this. Mikoto kissed Naruto, feeling the single mother Uchiha's lips touched his. Feeling Mikoto's pushed against his, Mikoto kissed Naruto deeply. Naruto felt Mikoto's tongue inside his mouth, which surprised him a bit. Mikoto broke the kiss. She smiles at her godson from another world. Mikoto removed Naruto's pants along with his boxers as well. Mikoto gasped when she glazes upon the sight of Naruto's. You're big. Naruto blushed when Mikoto told him. Naruto moaned lightly when he felt Mikoto jerked his 8 inches using her right hand. Mikoto's into her mouth, tasting Naruto's young as Naruto's moan become louder. As each time Mikoto slowly withdraw her mouth from his only to take it back into her warm wet mouth. Naruto couldn't hold back his moans as Mikoto bobbed her head faster. Mikoto-sama. Naruto groaned as he held her head with both hands. Mikoto's eyes widened in as she felt Naruto coming inside her mouth. Mikoto gladly swallowed Naruto's load as the sound of her swallowing a large load after one another. Mikoto lay back as she opened her legs wide to Naruto. Naruto, please, it's been so long since I made love to someone I know who won't hurt me. Seeing she has been used time after time by others who never show love to her or even made true love to her for that fact. Naruto would make sacrifice of giving her his virginity in order to help her. After all, Naruto did promise Sasuke he'll save her, and right having with her will help her lower the effects of the lust tattoo. Mikoto grabbed Naruto by the neck of his t-shirt and pulled him into a kiss as Mikoto wrapped her legs around his hips, bringing closer to her. Naruto slowly thrust his index and middle finger against Mikoto's wet as the Uchiha mother moaned when she felt Naruto touching her special spot. Please, Naruto, don't tease me. It hurts, please give it to me, please make the pain go away. Mikoto begged Naruto to bang her. Naruto nodded his head as Mikoto grabbed his and helped him place it inside her. Mikoto jerked her head back when she felt the head of his entering her. Naruto pulled Mikoto upward, having the beautiful Uchiha mother on top of him as Naruto gripping Mikoto's cheeks. Both were moaning, and as Mikoto was giving Naruto's first time a moment he'll never forget. Mikoto riding her godson from another sun like a cowgirl. Mikoto's bounce as she rode Naruto's faster. Godmother and godson mating like. Mikoto's magnificent pounded down as her make sweet noise with Naruto's. Yes, yes, yes. Naruto, yes. More me. Make love to me. Love me more. Mikoto moans as she grabbed her while giving Naruto a look in her eyes. No, it wasn't a look, it was the look of she finally someone who didn't force her, but she found someone she can love once again. Naruto's fingernails dug into flesh of her cheeks, making sure he wasn't going to let her go. The wet sounds of an thrusting together clash. Soon Mikoto stopped riding Naruto, as she soon got on all four, shaking her beautiful at Naruto. Naruto thrust his back into Mikoto's. Loudly smacked against each other as Mikoto felt the lustful feeling that was controlling her was being replaced by the love pleasure. Naruto was hamming into her womb. Naruto began bucking uncontrollably as his thrust became faster. Mikoto knew her young lover was ready to give her womb his seed. Although because of the tattoo Mikoto can't have children, but still the feeling making love was much better than being forced into. Naruto clamped shut his eyes as the sweat dripped down from the side of his neck. Mikoto reached her left hand out, grabbing Naruto's left arm, keeping him close to her. Keeping in that perfect thrusting he was performing. Mikoto, I. It's okay, I want it. I want to feel it inside me, please, Naruto. Mikoto begged him. The sound of their orgasm shook each of them to their very core. Mikoto for the first time in 3 years felt the pleasure of love by someone whom she loved and cared for. She didn't care if this Naruto wasn't her godson, it was still Naruto to her eyes, and he came to save her and everyone from this dark fate. Clearly exhausted, Mikoto rested on the floor with Naruto laying down on top of her with his still inside her. Mikoto felt Naruto's overflowing inside her filled her womb to the brim. Naruto took his out of Mikoto and kissed. Naruto got dressed as Mikoto lay there still shook that Naruto rocked her world for a virgin. Mikoto, please stay safe. It will be over soon, I promise you. Naruto grinned at the beautiful Mikoto Uchiha, as Mikoto nodded her head as her young love left her home, leaving a sign of hope in Mikoto's heart. Be careful and good luck, Naruto-kun. Campsite. Naruto returned to see everyone was still asleep, one person was missing. So how did it go? Sasuke's voice was heard. Naruto looked back at Sasuke as Naruto told Sasuke to follow him to a spot where the two can talk. On a small hill that had a beautiful view of the moon with its stars shining through the night. I found your mother, Sasuke. She's at first was in trouble. But I helped her. She can't leave the village not until dark. Sasuke and Orochimaru is killed. She was given a tattoo that keeps her and forces her to give herself whenever she's around males. Naruto frowned as he told Sasuke. You made love to her, didn't you? Sasuke asked as he stares at his best friend. Naruto looked in shame. Look, I didn't want to, but that tattoo it would have. Thank you, Sasuke said. His words had left Naruto in the dark. A large confuse appear above Naruto's head. Say that again. Are you thanking me for having with Mikoto? Naruto looked very confused. Naruto Shippuden Movie 2 soundtrack bonds playing in background. Sasuke looked up at the stars as he spoke. She's not my mother, at least here she isn't. She must have suffered a lot. To know her son did all of this and to know her own son raped her as well. As I said, Naruto, I dare not show my face to her. I want her to be happy. She was the only person beside Itachi who truly cared about me. She always told I will one day become a great ninja, even greater than Itachi. I just wish I could just tell her I'm sorry. Naruto rested his right hand on Sasuke's left shoulder as Naruto grinned widely at Sasuke. Sasuke, I believe she forgave you. I never hated my parents because I thought I never had parents. But I now know they watch over me, and I know your mother is watching you. You may have done bad things in the past, but that is the past. We need to focus on the future. Together, Sasuke, we are unstoppable. Remember, you're not just my best friend, but we are brothers as well. Sasuke grew a smirk. Yeah, you're right, Naruto. We will save them all. Tomorrow we take back the village hidden in the leaves.